Hello and welcome. Welcome to Roller Wiener Monday. It's a cold one. Our wieners are frozen today from the cold weather and the snow. We'll see who's driving, who's not driving, what's going on, and what all else is happening. This week, the CVSA road check, they determine what they're going to look for. We have winter weather is certainly covering the news. The hours of service have been extended again. Did you see the digital dash and a couple other features of the new T680? There's some stocks and rates and job behaviors. I have a question for you about that. Also, Gorilla Glue may have been in the news lately. Not sure. So there you go. I'm not sure. It might have been in the news. Maybe. So, what's going on out there today? Misty is first today. Goodness, trucking tips. Thank you very much. It's good to see you. What's happening out there? Hope everybody's staying warm. We had the President, George H.W. Bush, also in the house today. The big house, the White House. Not the big house, I guess. George Costanza's here today. What's happening? Let's see. Dash Cam Sam. What's going on? Tina Jones in Leavenworth. Yeah, cold and snowing. Believe me, wait till later tonight. You're going to get the same thing that the whole state is going to get. Believe me. Let's see. GP Transco's here. Hello, welcome. It's good to see you. You're filming another episode of your series, which I think is pretty interesting and people should go watch. Let's see here of what's it called? Oh, wait a minute. Right, My Trucking View. Interesting. You don't know what it is? Yeah, My Trucking View. They do different topics, and I think everybody should go watch those. They're a nice snippet of what's going on in the industry and how to make it better. Really, Trucker Hershey. Hello there. Yeah, tarp pay got raised to $100 by Melton. 100 smackers to smack the tarp on there, and believe me, today that's probably not enough. Tonight here in Indiana, we're looking at 30 to 40 mile an hour winds and another 8 to 10 inches of snow. So that should be pretty pleasant for everyone. Please stay off the roads tonight here. They said in rural areas the snow may drift to 4 feet from the winds because it's so cold. It's only 11 degrees a few minutes ago, so that was really something. A combined transport pays $25 a tarp. George Costanza, that's pretty awesome. $25 to tarp. Some places don't pay at all. Yeah, we did not get paid. Now, this was 80s, okay? But Regal Transport, you did not get paid to tarp at all, and all loads had to be tarped. Okay, that's pretty good. No matter where you pick the load up, no matter what the customer said, their policy was all loads had to be tarped. But I didn't know any better, and I thought, I guess you just tarp it to part of flatbedding or whatever. The only time you didn't have to tarp is if you didn't have a load at all. And the other drivers, even then, would call you in. They would have to go to the truck stop. But if they saw you parked somewhere or whatever, they'd call the company themselves to make sure you tarped your load. Look at over there. That guy's load's not tarped. Right, love it. Love it. Trucking tips, hungry, yeah, no doubt. Let's get those wieners heated up today. Holy mackerel. Chicken hauler from Alabama. It's even bad down there, right? Boy, it's going to be a disaster today. Salt Lake City's usually warm. We should all be over there. But nobody can stay awake because of the no coffee problem. For Super Trucker, frozen wiener Monday. Yeah, no doubt. All frozen up today. That isn't good. You're going to have to sit it on the grill for a while. Mark is late. Mark is trying to be on time. Believe me, I tried to make sure everything worked out good today. So, fortunately, it worked out. I think it worked okay. I may hit some snow. Let's see. In the mountains tonight, Misty, yes. Stay out of it. If it's going to be like here, this is the largest snowfall here since 2013. So, 2013. That's not great at all. Peter Evans, hey, hello. Thank you very much for that. Hello. Hope you're staying safe out of the snow today. Yikes. Chickasaw, Oklahoma from Gear Jammer. What's happening? Chickasaw. I don't know where that is. Garage Door Trucker. Hello from snowy, icy Kentucky. I know. Are you parking? Is everybody parking? Tina Jones starving. Time to get a wiener and heat it up today. A foot of snow down. I know, but wait till tonight. You're going to be nice to get even more. But won't that be great? Ruth, hey, Mark and Gracie, how are you? Too. We're doing great. Gracie's sleeping on the couch, sprawled out like she owns the place, basically. Basically, she got up there and fell asleep on her back. Crazy. Hansel and Penelope, Rain Blossom Smith. We are officially over this winter weather. I know. It just started and we're over it. Now, right now, we're in a little break. So they're going to be like, oh, you could leave now. Right. But we're in a small break. No way. Texas is closed at night. It needs to be after what all happened down there. There was a big accident in Oklahoma. Iowa, another accident. Yikes. George Costanza, Gorilla Glue is a new Max Hold hair gel. I have some other things that you should not do with Gorilla Glue. So some more things. By the way, for the $20,000 she got, I would do the same thing. Okay, now she wasn't planning on that money. We all know the Gorilla Glue girl story, I'm sure. Tried to do her hair with Gorilla Glue because, I don't know. Other things you should not do, use Gorilla toothpaste. Do not use it as a toothpaste. So that's one other thing. Cash is King Trucking. Shout out to that emergency declaration extended all the way out to the end of May. I know. Cash is King Trucking loves these more than life itself. He is Mr. Revenue. And they extended the hours of service declaration to May 31st. A rare extension like this hardly ever happens. Okay, they hardly ever do extensions. May 31st. So Mr. Revenue will be retiring probably at the end of May at that rate. Holy mackerel. They extended that all the way out to May. If you're hauling all those products, just keep on. Nobody sleeps till May, basically. They did say that if your vehicle has problems that would cause it to be out of service, you should stop and get them fixed. So they commented about that. Alexandra, hello, snowing in Kansas City. Yeah, all the way back there. So that's just headed my way. Beautiful. Shout out to, let's see, Columbia, Georgia. I'm at home near Roseburg, Oregon. Kelly, where's Roseburg? Drove here in snow. Yeah, well, but you don't have to really go anywhere that far, right? I mean, I'm surprised they're still going on down there. Trucking Tips, GP, you have a channel? They do. GP Transco has their own YouTube channel. You should check it out. Paladin, only 55 here in Arizona. Okay, you're banned. Okay. Theo Towns, good morning, Mark. In California, waiting to deliver this chicken load. Not live chickens, I hope. That's all I'm seeing is all these frozen chickens. The White Knight, one slip up and accident is not worth their CDL. No doubt. Look, today, it's going to be really bad here. They're commenting on it. All the schools that were open today. Some were open. It's President's Day or whatever. But some were open because they're making up all the days that they missed. They're closed. Okay. And businesses are now closing in the area as well. Please park for the day. 8 to 10 inches of snow and 30-mile-an-hour winds at 10 degrees where it all blows around like a blizzard. They said there'll be blizzard warnings later. That's not worth it. Okay. That's not worth an accident. Even if you don't get fired or whatever, it's just not worth it. Wait the day out, and these companies are the problem, of course, because many people are paid by the mile, and so you're like, I'm not going to get paid. Some companies do pay you. I know Martin, I think, is one of them. There's a number of places that will pay you to stop, but most don't, and they should. They should. You'd be more likely to stop, I think. Trucker Hershey, I'm heading south. I'm heading from St. Louis to Columbus. Guess I'll be late. Yes. Please add another day to your schedule. Part of our neighborhood, iHeart Cryptoverse, lost electricity about 3:40 this morning. It's 7 degrees in Dallas-Fort Worth. Wow. Minus 14 Celsius for our European viewers. But in freedom units, that's 7 degrees. Man, that'd be a cold wake-up, certainly. I'd start the fireplace, except I don't have a fireplace. It's minus 17 in Iowa. Wow. Someone tell Canada to shut their windows. We don't want their cold. That's super cold. They were talking about 0 here, but it's we made it into double digits today. That's a real problem for the snow. Cash is King Trucking. Some places don't even pay to tarp. What is this, slave labor? I know. I did stop working for there. Not because of that, really. But that place also, by the way, at Regal, did not pay you for your empty miles. And that's where I get part of my information on percentage. They paid percentage. So you got a percent of the load, and so empty miles, you didn't get paid because you didn't have a load. That was the policy. So, and what do I know? It was really my first road job. I didn't know anything. See, that's the problem. I tried to look on YouTube for information, and all it said was there's no YouTube. And then it said there's also no phones. So it didn't work out good. The White Knight is sitting in St. Louis. How is it over there? Probably bad. George Costanza, they say it's building into the rate for their percentage. Yeah, right, that's right. That covers everything. It covers the whole load. That's what they say. That covers the entire load, including the tarping. It's all in there. Don't worry. It's all in there. It makes it easier. Trying to get east of Indy today to Gas Grill for dinner. Maybe get stuck there an extra day, I hope. Trucker Hershey. East of Indy. Where, what's Gas Grill? I mean, maybe we stop at Mr. Fuel down there. Funny you say that. I was just heating up my wiener. Disco Beaver. Exactly. Get it heated up. I mean, it's so cold today. It's like a Vienna sausage. William Roberts. Louisiana snowed in. I know. Once it snows in Louisiana, people north of there should just park. Who gets paid for parking? Anybody? Martin, right? Martin's one of them. Used to haul lumber out of Roseburg, Oregon back in 84. Wow. Started watching Cash King this weekend. Love the channel. Missed it. Yeah, he's pretty good, and he's on all the time. By the way, if you need to watch something live, he's always live. He's probably live right now, over there and here. So, very possible. Very good channel. Super informative. Sunny and warm in Vegas. Nice. Your band, too. Line of thunderstorms coming through Birmingham. Then colder temps and freezing rain. That's crazy down there. That's just crazy. At least it'll warm up. Hello, Gracie. Are you staying warm? Yes. She's curled up on the couch. Basically sprawled out on the couch, I should say. Sleeping at the moment. This is an unusual way to find her with her eyes open. So she has to have her early afternoon nap after her late mid-morning nap and snack time. Trucking tips. I'm the weather specialist in trucking. Yeah, so what's going on? What's going to be going on here, and what do you recommend driving? Any religion that is anti-coffee is anti-Christ. God bless coffee. I'm not a religious person about it, but I just don't drink coffee. I don't like it. I probably have less than a few cups a year, maybe 5 cups a year. Not a fan of it. I like it in other things. When people make it in a cake, this is a chocolate coffee cake. I'm like, oh, that is so delicious. But I just never got into coffee. I'm right here I'll get like something. I'll go to Starbucks and I'm like, get a thing, but it's got like all different flavors. And I think if you have coffee with 12 flavors in it, you're not really drinking coffee anymore. I love coffee. I just have to put 12 things in it to make it tolerable. Chicken Hall, I'm right on the line, but Western and Northern is bad. 20-car crash on US 231 in Huntsville, Alabama. Wow. That's just south of me on 231, which comes through town here. Well, down there, people don't get as much of it down, George Wilson not well today. I'm just along for the ride. All right, well, get better. Today's a good day to be off relaxing. The Bull Hauling Bulldog in Ohio calling for 9 inches. Yeah, that's same here. Starts here in actually it said 54 minutes exactly on the thing, so. Currently sunny and 4 below in Minneapolis. It's somewhat ironic that up there you're going to miss a winter storm that we're getting. Where you get it sunny. I'd rather it was 4 below and sunny than the 10 degrees I'm getting and, half a foot of snow. I-55 in Mississippi, all shut down. No salt and sand trucks. Gotta love it. Yeah, here, that's the other thing. Maybe they should shut the roads down so that people would stop driving on them and getting in accidents. But then here again, the drivers will just go anyway because it's not being paid. I don't know the solution other than $10 an hour, 24 hours a day. Trying to make my way to Ohio and Dayton, a garage door trucker. Just park it. Come show up tomorrow. Wild Bill is here. Hey, hello. Are you guys still rolling up there? Who do I drive for? I don't ever get to that question, which is unusual. For people that are new, I do this every Monday at 12:30, and I don't ever say who I drive for. It just keeps them out of my videos, And I think that I don't also recruit for them. A lot of people, if you like your company, recruit for them. I just let them handle that. So that's how I do it here. Fleet Nav Systems. Hello, everybody. Hey, hello, Fleet Nav Systems. Are you going to still have your live show this week? Will that still be going on? So let everybody know about that. If that is still going to go. Did I see the pileup in Texas? You bet I did. Huge. She and the gorilla. I don't know about all that. Right. I-20 closed on L.A. from... exit 56 to 59. What's going on with that? Hi, guys from Frozen Nashville. There shouldn't be Frozen and Nashville together. Don't use Gorilla Glue like it's... yeah, don't use it for that reason either, Kelly. That's another one. I was thinking eye drops also. It is not eye drops. Do not try that. Do not glue a solo cup to your lip. That's not a good idea. Cash is King Trucking. I love how we reward stupidity in this country, but you put Gorilla Glue in your hair and you get a huge sum of cash. It was over $20,000 that people gave to her through a GoFundMe. And I thought, you know what? For if somebody wants to GoFundMe $20,000 or PayPal or whatever right now, you can come over here and put Gorilla Glue in my hair for $20,000. I'll video it for $20,000. No problem. I did a story on that. 4th time it was amended. It was originally supposed to be 1 month. Oh. Yeah, it's forever, right? And we're almost a year on it. Pigpen, afternoon drivers picked up in Burgettstown, Pennsylvania with a short run to Toledo. Oh, nice. To start the week. Then I'm heading to Carlstadt, New Jersey. Well, it's going to be a long week. Plan on buying a house cash by the end of the year. Cash is King. Yeah, you could buy Gary for the money you're going to make by the end of the year. All the houses. Check. It's easier to hit the letters when they're large. That's very good. Alex, the OTR driver, checking in. Have been here for a while. I'm working, getting out of OTR and into local. All right, if that's what you want, there's a local job waiting for you somewhere. How do you do a tug test with a trailer trolley level? Trailer trolley level. Alan Benedict. I quit Swift. Can I get an amen? It depends. Depends where you went from there. What are you doing now? It's pronounced Chickasha. All right. Where did I lost that to? As usual. I'm way back here. Yikes. Holy mackerel. Oh, there it is. Chickasha, Oklahoma. That's an affirmative of Chile 55 in Phoenix. Yeah, Chile. I think the snow and ice are making Indiana roads better. The potholes fill up and it's smoother. Nice. We have some of the best roads in the country. That was voted by the governor himself. He was the only one that voted. I-49 still closed to Lafayette from Shreveport. It was minus 25 in Nebraska. Wow. Will the truck run? Did you leave the truck running at that kind of cold temp? Got 5 cents so far, looking for another 15 centimeters. Oh, centimeters tonight. I'm staying home. Nice part of it being local. Right. Just don't even go in. 15 centimeters is like a lot. That's like, I don't know, a hectacre of it. I actually don't know the conversion on that. Roads aren't terrible here in Southern Illinois. Not great, but not terrible. Right, for right now. The problem is tonight. This afternoon, the second part of this storm that comes through brings the wind with it. So we're going to get here, 8 to 6, 8 inches more, but the wind, 30 to 40 mile an hour winds tonight. That's the problem. Paid holiday for me. Me and the wife doing our taxes. Wow, early. I-10 closed from Lafayette to Baton Rouge. Yikes. Half inch of snow in Houston shuts down. That's true. They keep it closed. I got the weather and live traffic radars covered. Get them up there. George Costanza, did you know that Werner does not pay for hazmat load? Seriously. How do drivers not demand compensation? So they don't pay extra for hazmat? Do they pay you to at least get your hazmat? Okay, how about that? Kenworth Rider, hello, Mark, and stay warm. I'm trying to. I got the heat cranking. That'll be bad for Duke Energy next month. Good for them, I guess. Bad for me. Werner says having hazmat gives you a wider selection of loads. Oh, your reward is more work. If you don't get that, we don't have any work for you. Well, you should leave and say, well, I guess I'll go somewhere else. They should pay extra because they get extra on the load. That's what you should tell them. Hey, go. You guys get extra. Why don't you pay us at least a little bit of it? So GP Transco pays a weather delay. What is it? ShipX pays for parking 3 times a week. I think they should pay anytime you need to park their truck. That's any company. It's their truck. It's like a business expense. Like they don't pay for fuel 3 times a week, right? They pay for it anytime. So parking the truck is an expense that they cover as a company. I-15 Love, Speedway across the street with gas grill. Exit 115. Oh, you're talking on 70? I already did my live show today, got it up and done. All right. The first of many, right? 8 in Chicago right now. Yeah, is it snowing yet? Peoria is 2 degrees with another 3 to 5 inches today. Nice. No coffee. You're more of a high-speed chicken bean kind of guy. I just never got into coffee. People love coffee. I just never became a coffee drinker. I used to take a tablespoon of instant coffee and chew on the ground. Cash is king. Wow. That, I'll tell you what, that's a manly thing to do right there. Is that Sanka? Remember that when you would poke the spoon through the top of the container, that piece of paper? My grandfather used to drink that, so I remember that. You'd poke the spoon through there with or was that Folgers with the crystals, the flavor crystals. I have an Intrix on, whatever that is. I'm sorry. Is that because something is broken? I-20, I don't know what that is. Oklahoma till Jackson, Mississippi had a shutdown till Shreveport. Ugh. Hail the roller wiener lord, the lord of wieners. I wouldn't want to know what kind of staff you'd have with that. How are your omega particles, Paladin? I don't do the omega particles because it's annoying because they send you all over creation to go get them. So those, I'm not doing them. As long as they don't make me do them, I'm not doing them. But otherwise, I'm 32 of 40 on the program. Dog 50 in Vienna, Georgia. Really? Kelly, compared to the rest of some of you, it's nice here in Roseburg, Oregon. 48 degrees and rain. That is nice. That's nice compared to most everybody. This is one of the large storms that's covered the country, they said, in a while. Mark, where do you work? Hello, everyone. Stay safe out of there. This weather is crazy. No doubt. Keltarusu Travels. You're a hero for that. I love making coffee. Yeah, that I want to see a video of that. That's something. Holy moly. No snowplows here in Mesa, Arizona. Yeah, they wouldn't know what to do with them. They'd only use them like 2 times a year, right? That's what I think. If anyone gets the boot for not running, let me know. Absolutely. Look, no company should fire you for that. I saw that Misty had posted earlier. One of her friends was getting grief about it. No way. No way. Tell them no way. If you don't think it's safe, you don't have to drive. And the FMCSA backs you up on that, by the way. Canadian Tanker Yanker. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Get Gracie a roller wiener and belly rub. Well, she'll get plenty of belly rubs, believe me, because she's laying on her back. You almost can't avoid it as you walk by. You have to. You just have to rub her belly. She's actually in my spot, and I won't move her until she gets up, so I'll sit somewhere else. Is that weird? I don't know. I heard heading from Waukegan, Illinois to Syracuse, New York, Michael Muller. Could you leave tomorrow from up there? Just stay at Six Flags and leave tomorrow. I heard they raised the minimum wage of $15 an hour federally in that new stimulus deal. I guess a lot of Western Express drivers are leaving for McDonald's. Look, if it went to 15, every Western Express driver should leave. And there's another lawsuit. It's actually the same lawsuit in Washington State from Western Express. They wanted it moved because the driver claimed he didn't get minimum wage and that he didn't get his breaks. Washington State has different breaks, and Western Express wanted it moved to Nashville, right, their headquarters. And the judge Friday said, no, you can't move it, and the case is not going to be dismissed. So more Western Express news. What I would do for $100, yeah, that'd be a big book. In the U.S., the dumber the idea, the more money it makes. I know. You're like, I'm so stupid, I better film this so I can get some money. Just incredible. She didn't even set the thing up. What about Gorilla Glue in your tires for winter traction, Clydesdale? I will tell you there's a spray. There is traction spray for your tires. It doesn't last long, but there is traction spray. I wonder if it's a Gorilla Glue type of product. It's an interesting idea. Raising the minimum wage raises the price of goods, so everyone's standard of living goes down. Oh, see, you don't understand anything. Close low-skill labor is allowed to vote themselves more money. Once people realize they can vote themselves the largesse of everyone, that's when the country is doomed. I've been opposed to minimum wage. Wonder if Gorilla Glue melts snow. I don't know. I'd repair the crack in my butt with Gorilla Glue for $20,000. Cash is King Trucking. I know. I mean, $20,000. Can you imagine that? That's 3 years' salary for a Western Express driver. That's why Cash King is so flush. With cash, he made love to a reefer, then called Saul. Nice. Fleet Nav Systems, we're still having our live stream. The power goes out Friday. You can expect to hear all about the update for predictive maintenance at 3 p.m. on our channel. All right. All right. Predictive maintenance, 3 p.m. Friday, Eastern. It's so cold here in Oklahoma that we're having to put sweaters on all the cattle. Ugh. I wonder if that's true. Does she have to pay short-term capital gains tax on her hair glue gel? No, actually, she's actually donating that $20,000, but she would not have to pay any tax on it because anyone can give anybody, I think it's $14,000 now a year, up to $14,000. It's a lot. It's in the 5 digits. So she could, because that's from individuals, each part of it is an individual donation to her. So as long as nobody gave more than the taxable amount, she wouldn't have to pay any tax on it. But she's donating it, so I guess to the doctor that did her hair stuff so that other dumb people can get the stuff out of their hair, I guess. So Sonny from The View came out and said, no, don't, people do stuff. Don't say anything about it. I'm like, this I think is something you can say something about. Woke about 8 inches of snow in Texarkana. Texas isn't getting hammered. Panama Jack. Hopefully you're still parked there. That is a lot of snow down there. Why do some drive in these conditions? An accident and you're at Western Express. That's something to think about this. One accident, you could be driving for Western Express, staying in their lovely motel. Your safety director would say conditions were hazardous and it's your fault. That's the problem. They're going to want you to drive some places. Not a lot of places are very good about it, okay? But some places are going to want you to drive. When you get an accident, they're going to, what are you doing driving? It's terrible out there. Don't you look around? And that's true. I pawned my ELD and told them I'd be back in June to get it. I cannot imagine how many owner-operators have those things sitting at their house. They're all covered with dust and stuff. They're like, I don't need this dumb thing. You don't have to basically do anything to your truck. Lights go out, doesn't matter. Right, awesome. All you have to do is keep your license current, basically. You can do whatever you want. That is great. I think that's great. And look, through May, take advantage of it, which I'm sure you will. All owner-operators should be doing that. Certainly, when you're looking for another job, is it better to stay with the company you're with or find the job? Oh, go find the job and then quit. Never go to a job without another place to go. Day Cab Gear Chamber, don't forget to tip your host. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate it. When you're going to go somewhere, find a job and tell them on there, can we talk to your current employer? No. Okay. And so that's what I think you do on it. And have something else lined up, unless you got enough money. I mean, it depends. Maybe you want a couple weeks off, you got some money saved up, then yeah, take the time off. But otherwise, find another job where you are. 15 centimeters is 6 inches. Okay. All right, there we go. So it's like 2.3 or something to 1. Got it. In freedom units, as we call them here. Trucking tips. Can I get a plug for weather and traffic on my channel, Mark, if that's okay? Yeah, right. Put it out there. We'd love to go see it, see what it is. Absolutely. I'm all for that. Tuck test with the trailer brake. How does one do it? Oh, once you're hooked up to the trailer, all right, make sure the trailer's got air and pull the brake down and pull on it. You know, you're pulling down the Johnny valve, as I call it, right? Pull it down and pull away, and the trailer wheels better stay locked up. That's how you slide the tires too, right? And I do that every time you get in the truck. Make a habit of doing that every time you get in the truck. They used to call that the Schneider test because apparently at some point there was a bunch of Schneider trucks that had their pins pulled when they would park. And so I always heard it called a Schneider test, and that's what I've always called it. So about as deep as a roller wiener? Yes, that's correct. They plump when you cook them. GP Transco is 100 for weather, maybe 150. All right, so 100 a day. What do you think about that? So like it could be, I've sat in Wyoming for 2.5 days, the longest I ever sat. What do you think about that? What if you sat 2.5 days? I'm just curious. Alexandra, I had to idle. Also had the reefer on continuous because it was so cold. It had to warm the trailer up for ice cream. Oh my gosh. Holy mackerel, that's right. Normally ice cream loads it would always run, but out there it would barely run. You have to leave the thing running. That's funny. Cash King Trucking, right? You can hit up Fleet Nav Systems for an ELD in June when you need, if it doesn't get extended. I live in Del Rio, Texas. The only salt here for the roads on store shelves. Oh, like the Morton Salt girl on the where she's got the thing under her arm. Probably I'm the only one that remembers those commercials. I saw that in Texas with a few horses, so they do cover them. Kelly, I also used to load in the big city of Drain, Oregon. Drain. Michael Muller, you release your brakes, roll forward, and pull the trolley valve. If your truck stops, you're good. If you hear a thud, you lost your trailer. Go start cranking. The snow flurries are flying here now, Wild Bill. All right, so you're expecting a little more tonight, right? But are you working? Do they have you come in? Probably, right? Bada bing. Hey, Mark, first time making it to a live show, have a holiday off. Thanks for making the replays ad-free. It's balmy 26 here in Columbus. You're quite welcome. The live show should also be ad-free. So I run the live show and the replays and everything ad-free on the live show. I mean, 2 hours of me is long enough without listening to a commercial for Progressive. So I know a driver that uses coffee like tobacco dip. Yikes. INRIX is a traffic radar app. Oh, really? Well, that sounds pretty fancy. I never heard of it. That's for you fancy people. Cash King Trucking, well, I appreciate that. Here's a few bucks on that Duke Energy bill. Yeah, I bet it'll be like 130, 140 this next time. This is be the biggest one of the year. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Coffee is for dirty chicken trailers. Nice. That works too. Of course, you've had Greek coffee when dining in Chicago, haven't you? You've had the free coffee beans in your Sambuca. Greek coffee? No, I don't think so. Nice and warm in Florida. Another person banned. Florida. A friend of mine who lives outside of Tampa wrote to me in like 76 degrees yesterday again. He's like, oh, I'm putting my shorts, may go off to the beach today. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Paladin, I've been in Arizona since 85. Have been snowed on 3 times. Sweet. Sweet. George Costanza is actually taller than the actual George Costanza because that dude is a Seinfeld Smurf. He is. That's true. I restarted weather and traffic. All right. Where do we get that? I'm going to be at the new internet thing. It's going to be the new internet thing, the instant coffee jumper for Folgers Crystals. I know. Can you glue them to yourself? Check out Trailer Park Boys Kitty Man. Come on YouTube. The All right. Have you tried Gracie on the keto diet? No. She's very finicky, as most cats are. I'm okay. There's no question about that. When are you going to build your A-team and start your own premier truck driving school? George Wilson. Boy, that'd be something. I can't imagine the hassles that it is trying to get paid by all these different grants and all that. You probably have to have a whole group of people that try to just get the money to run the school, and the insurance also, I always thought would be incredible. How much would it cost to insure those trucks on the road? I mean, you drive them on the road. Hope Western Express gets the judge's hammer, trucking tips. Let's hope. Let's hope they lost this part of it. These take forever to get through court. You get those latte instant coffee baggies, you're supposed to add them to hot water. Add one mug and you're balling. A hot instant coffee latte. Wow, that sounds like a Sanka latte. Never knew about traction spray. Yeah, look it up. They have a spray for your tires. So you spray on there and it increases your traction for a little bit of time. It's kind of like to get you out of a spot that you're stuck in rather than like going over a mountain. But traction spray, check it out. Maybe throw a can of it in the truck. I've never used it, but I do know they have it. Panama Jack, my load is already sitting at a yard for the week going out to Missouri and Arkansas, but probably won't make deliveries till late this week. Not hurting my feelings at all, no doubt. That's the other thing, okay? The day's pay, even if you lose a day's pay, look, don't crash and kill somebody. And if you're creeping along the highway at 15 miles an hour, what is the point of that? You're never going to find anywhere to park either. Why do we not have heated roads? Some countries do. Trucking tips. I don't think heated roads would work. I've thought about this kind of thing. The only way to heat them right now would be through some mechanical means. You'd have to run water tubes through them or wires. And if a section of it was broken, you'd suddenly come upon 100 feet of it that are frozen. So because you'd be carrying the water onto the next part, I don't think it works. That's why I don't think they have heated roads. Arkansas infidel. Nice. I wonder how well the automated driving systems are doing in the snow. Not at all. Correct. And thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, and I agree with you. Just driving around yesterday with the snowfall, right? The radar on the escape stopped. It gave me a little alert, that the thing is covered with snow, and that's just driving around town because it has automated cruise and all that stuff. So, but it's got the same sensor the semis have, and it didn't work. So, on the semis, they're not going to be able to see themselves. Let's see, where'd I go here? Never knew. Okay, here I am. You get fired on the report gallon of Gorilla Glue that expands 3 times its value into the air vents. Do they have expanding Gorilla Glue? Like, oh, that'd be something. You must be old to remember those Sanka commercials, Gear Jammer. Didn't the spoon make a swoosh sound? Oh, of course. They show it, and then you can hear that sound going through the piece of paper. Yeah, extreme upper 30s. People remember that stuff. What happened to that GP Transco driver that got fired on the road? Never heard from him. Winworth's dispatcher allegedly didn't like him. Columbia, Georgia. I asked him to write. Never heard a word about it. So, no idea. Unless he comes on here, I guess that'll be the end of it. He said it, and that's it. So, I don't know if there has to be more to it, or he would have written in with information. That's what I think. No company will fire you on the road for being late one time. Even Western Express. Of course, they're probably late all the time. But it has to be way more to it. He never wrote to me. 3 years salary. Yeah, Jeff Rise. Yeah, that's exactly about correct there. Some say Mark thought Shadow Wolf how to kick off a trailer. I don't. Cat filters are for a lawyer. Call 1-800-ADVOCAT. It's so cold in Chicago. When I turn the shower on, it snowed for 20 minutes. They actually, you should actually run your water right in the cold weather a little bit in your house. Keep that in mind. Wish they had Quick Trip all over the country. Quick Trip is far better than Love's. They have avocados. How much is an avocado at a truck stop? Okay, number one. Number two, how many drivers look at an avocado and know what it is at a truck stop? Some say CDL says HBC for here before Christ, but I don't know about that, right? Oregon tried heating 84. Really? Snow's just frozen water. Well, the problem is the heated part when it breaks. I thought of solar. At some point in the future, they may have some type of concrete that can absorb the sun, the heat from the air, and stay warm all night. Or how about we just cover the entire interstate system? That works as well. Soon the rules will be so tight if you have more than one pack of dip, you need hazmat. Yeah, well, of course, who can afford that stuff anymore? Do Quick Trips have roller wieners? That's what we want to know. I-84 near La Grande. It failed, but kudos for trying. I'd like to see how that have worked. Do they heat it? Would they heat it with water? Pumping water through it, or electricity? 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. All right, so I didn't learn my 2.54s in school. I thought it was like 2.3 or something. All right, 2.54. Trucking tips, all right. Adam Ingrid, did you make it? You are here. or 25.4 millimeters. All right. How many acres is it? In the Hool and in Imperial, you get 12 bushels to 1 hoghead, which is 5 buttloads. I believe you've been to church on Sunday. Yes, 13 acres and a half is 10 hectares. It's easy, simple. 12 to 1 and simple. 36 is 3 12s. I mean, easy to do. It's 100 per day. Far too low to, in my opinion. Well, I will say that's better than most. So if you sat there 2 days, you'd get 200 is what you're saying in that long storm. Who decides? Who decides that? Does the driver just decide it and you get paid? I mean, since we're talking about, are they giving you any grief about it? It's the only thing bad about GP Transco, but it good outweighs the bad. Well, there are not that many days when you have to stop, and I will say 100 is not terrible to sit there. I think you should get a day's pay, of course, and if you're getting hourly, as Cash is King Trucking brings up at $10 an hour, nobody would have to worry about that. Adam said 4 days, got paid $500. All right. Okay, for sitting, that's better than a lot of places. If they salt the roads in Texas, people are on the road, but not being them free of right. That's exactly correct. And that's when they go treat the roads, people go on the roads. Playing it safe, just running Southern California and Arizona, Trucker J702. So you don't have these problems that we're having over here. After the snowstorm, there might be more snowflakes in Indiana than in California. Luke, oh, that's very good. Somewhat political, but not bad. Did you say snowflakes? Right. Ice falling from the sky again here north of Nashville, trucking with T-Bone. Look, we're in a lull. A lull. Wait until later tonight. Here, please. I encourage everyone here, within a couple of 100 miles, certainly of Indianapolis, to get parked right now and look at the weather. Florida's had as bad rates and have to babysit. Yeah, coming out, I guess, is bad, right? How does the Performance Service diesel fuel anti-gel work with the cetane boost? Put some in my truck and hope it works when I go to start my truck later this week. And look, Power Service, I used some Power Service on Thursday and Friday, and because they had some, which I was really surprised about, and the truck should start. So I've used Power Service for many, many years. I don't use any cetane boost or anything. I don't think I've had a company ever give it to me. But the Power Service works really good. I'm a fan of it. Fleet Nav Systems is heading out in 15 minutes. Tag if you guys have any ELD questions. Otherwise, we'll see you on the live show Friday. My stream has weather and traffic map live. All right. We'll check that out. Got a new T680. If you go over speed by 5, it flashes red and blue. Oh, really? Okay, so we have the T680 in the news here. You have one of those brand new ones? And I know this is on some cars, too. Mine doesn't recognize the speed limit, but I know some cars do. See, the thing is, if it goes over the speed limit and flashes red and blue, does it flash in the mirrors like the cops are coming? Does it tell your company that you went over the speed limit? That's my question. What happens then? Are they doing that? Oh, Robert Maxwell. Goodness, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Holy mackerel. We want to know, is your company here about the red and blue lights? Some old school guys put salt on the tires. Apparently it helps. I wonder how long that would last. I mean, I on the road I always had a bag of salt with me so that I could kind of salt my way out of a spot. At one point I had a truck that had an exhaust that came out right in front of the back tires, right there. And I thought, that is perfect because it melted a dry spot in front of the tires. 2 minutes in a dock and you could get out. The truck stops in New Mexico are out of diesel treatment for anti-gel, I bet. And it's like -6. Don't get your diesel frozen up. Somebody doesn't manage your stores properly, Grand Jeep. Well, I agree, but you should always have some of that stuff with you because you never know when you're going to be able to get it. And in this weather, many stations don't heat up their DEF tanks, so the pumps freeze. That's why I always encourage everybody to keep that thing full, especially in the wintertime, because you don't know when you're not going to be able to get it. The Hula uses studded tires. Wow. I don't think they're allowed in most of the U.S., right? That would get you going. I'll tell you that. The storms last week, right? My winter tires, amazing in the snow in my car. So pretty great. I don't know why they're not on trucks. Oregon has some heated roads on I-84. All right. Really? I'd like to see that. So I'm going to look it up. Some mountain passes in Norway are heated by solar panel power and batteries. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The problem I'm seeing, though, is if it's sectioned out and one section doesn't work, gets broken for some reason, you would suddenly come upon like an ice bridge where you've carried the water onto a frozen part of the road. That's what concerns me about it. Why don't bridges at least have something similar to the roof systems that melt ice and snow? I don't know. In Pennsylvania, the bridges all have sensors on them so that they can alert the DOT, the Pennsylvania DOT, Pete Pay Dot, right, to come out and salt the road. So they have that kind of thing. Are studded tires allowed in some states? Yeah, a few states allow them. Like here, Indiana, no. I don't know if anybody would say anything to you, but they're not allowed otherwise because it ruins the roads when they're dry. Back home, the main bus terminal has heated street and heated seats. They had to discontinue the seats. Wine got cooked. The whole. I know now that apparently in Grand Rapids area or in Holland, Michigan, the sidewalks are all heated up there. So that's pretty awesome. Check that out, which is really fascinating. What happened to this guy Trucks? Okay, Grand Jeep. I don't know. He did put a post out, about 2 weeks ago now, that he wasn't going to be on YouTube anymore. And he thanked everybody, and that's it. I haven't seen him out there since then. We didn't talk much, really, so I don't know anything more other than his community post that he put out right for everybody that thanked everybody for being there, and he's on to other adventures. He's not driving a truck anymore, and he's doing other things. So, and that's all I know about him, too. I'm out of the loop on everything. Trucker Hershey. Almost forgot this week. This last week I was in North Dakota. 3 fuel stops in the road. The DEF pumps were frozen. Always fill your DEF at every stop if you can. I was able to have enough. Yeah, always keep it full in the winter because, look, an astute viewer to the channel sent a picture of his thermometer from North Dakota at minus 43 degrees F. How about that? That's super cold. That was the outside temperature. Hereford Super Trucker. GP Transco won't fire you for being late. You'll just lose your 6-cent bonus. You're right. No place is going to fire you one time for being late. I just don't believe it, right? So there had to be way more to that story, right? And since he never wrote to me, never heard more about it, I don't know. That's all I know about the story. So I got to believe that, I can't get the other side of it. Is there any good second chance trucking companies for new drivers? With CDLs, well, you don't need a second chance company unless you have like 6 felonies or whatever. You can go to most places. We'll pick you up. If you're talking second chance because you got a felony or you got problems with your license, that's another story. E. Summers, who's maybe related. Bad weather's another reason to move to a company that has a minimum weekly guaranteed pay. Yes, that's correct too, as long as they pay it for that. Some of them always have these different ways out of it. Bruce, all trucking companies are scum. Keltarusu Travels, thanks to Will, I've studded tires in Helsinki and love them. Right. But it's mostly snowpacked, right? So here the roads will be dry here in a few days. Of course, it's supposed to snow another 6 inches Wednesday night, but we're not going to talk about that. Philip, at the Stripes truck stop in Texas, the avocados are cheap. How much is cheap? They're about $1 at the store at Meyer. So do drivers buy them also because they don't last long? That'd be the other thing I'd worried about at a truck stop. Are drivers buying avocados? I mean, they're making guacamole in their truck. What is happening? Grand Jeep. That just keeps your truck running all day and night and every day until the temperatures get above freezing. Well, you could do that if it'll do it. Like my truck will not idle. 3 minutes. That's it. So that's a problem. Farmers often need truck drivers and will not be too picky. That's true. If you have a real problem, rather than like Western Express or whatever, you can also go to a very small place that has just a few trucks where the owner's there and go talk to the owner and say, here's the deal. I killed a few people. I ran some meth. I did it, whatever it is. I'm saying. And so I want a second chance. I'm making my life better. And you can get a chance that way. And then there's your experience. And you might end up staying there. You might love it there. And let's see. Where did I go off to? Let's see. Do I have to go to work today? I just saw that and I'm okay. Yes, I do have to go to work today, although I don't know that I'll be going in today. I'm going to examine the weather here after the show and likely not going to go out in that kind of weather. So Snownator would be an apt prop right now. Oh, no doubt. I-10 bridge over Mississippi River in Louisiana shut down to ice. And they're never going to get it cleared until it warms up. That dude that got fired last week, did that get sorted out? Not really. I asked him to write to me with more information. Nothing. Didn't hear from him, so that's it. I wouldn't call, but I couldn't even call. I don't work for GP Transco, so I can't call them and ask them. And they're not going to tell me anyway. They're not going to give me his information, rightly so. And so unless I hear back from him, it just sits where it sits. There has to be more to that story. Nice and warm in Florida, I bet. Your band. Modern cars have here sets the cruise control after the posted speed limit. That's sweet. All right, here we can set that wherever we want. Meant just for sleeping in or something that's the driver's fault. Let's see, where did I go off to here? I had a disgruntled GP owner-operator comment on my channel bashing GP trucker at Transco. After watching his video, jumped into owner-operator head first with no previous company experience. Right? Look, some people do that successfully, but not mostly, okay? This is a business. You're not just buying a truck and driving. It's a business. You have to run it like a business. That's what I think. It isn't the company's fault. It's not always the company's fault that you fail. Sometimes it is, Western, but it's not always. It's usually the driver's fault. Keltarusu travels. GP Transco cups an attitude when you swig whiskey while driving. Really? Well, it depends what kind. I mean, and you have to share. I used to carry kitty litter for traction. Dash cam, Sam, I never used that. Number one, the cat doesn't appreciate me leaving the house with it. But I never thought it gave you much traction, and it gets wet right away. So I just use salt. I take salt with me because it's going to melt the ice too. Been driving for years, never had diesel gel up on me. Yeah, I've had trucks freeze a couple of times when they wouldn't give me any power service, and so I just go with it. I'm like, okay. And then go in, truck's frozen. What do you know? They got to come over. They got to call a service truck out with a big torpedo heater, I call it, that sits there and blows hot air at the truck while they pay me to sit there and look at them. Stupidest thing. But that's how it goes. Lucky my APU runs my block heater. This truck has an APU, so it should work right. Driving for years, never had diesel gel up. Bought 3-gallon DEF jug. Really? 3-gallon DEF jug. They have the jugs here. I can't buy the jugs on my card, so. Donkey Bite, what's new? Hey, yeah, what's going on? If you get in Florida and hit the cold weather, you might have issues. Different mixes. Yeah, that's correct. Buy your fuel where you are driving. But PA'd rather shut the roads down. I think they should shut the roads down because people seem to drive even though it's really bad out. Bruce, all truck companies are scum again. Joe, don't forget to support your local strippers. They're fine when it rains. When it's snow and ice, there's a problem. If people can't get to the strip clubs, how are these people going to make a living? And look, as a libertarian, basically, right, no problem. As long as it's adults in there, no problem. If people want to work in there, I got no problem with it. Minus 40 in Minot, North Dakota. That my diesel gel. I mean, exactly. I mean, at some point, it's going to freeze up. So when it sits here for, a weekend and the plugs don't work and it's 20 below all weekend and come in, the truck won't start. It's all frozen. Troy, good afternoon, my flatulent friend. All right. Looking good as always. That's true. Love the show, but you can keep the snow. Yeah, I'm going to get more of it so you can take some with you. Studded tires might making the Michigan and Indiana roads better. At least the top part would be all soft. I don't know why we don't have winter tires. I saw across the Red River in Fargo there are sprinkles that de-ice the bridge. Really? I don't know why they're not automatically de-iced. Back when I worked at a tractor dealership, we had to bring jerry cans when we got new tractors. Would not start below 30. Yikes. On the make-believe diesel from the factory. They put different kind of diesel from the factory. Why would they do that? Don't they just fill them up? At least here in the United States, like a car, you buy a car, they just go down to the gas station and fill it up. So they must have different fuel there for them. IDI Ford V8. Okay. Quick question. How do I set the trolley valve for parking? I just want to see my brake lights work. And it won't stay down. Any help? So you have the one that pops itself back up. In the olden days, with the dinosaurs, it was on the steering wheel, and it would just stay wherever you put it. So now they won't. So but I recommend a bungee between that and your brake pedal or something like that. That usually works. Or just bungee it down somehow so that it stays down. Or back up to something where you can see your brake lights. I think that's a better way to do it, especially in the cold weather. Back up to something that's reflective. Keltarusu travels. TGT, this guy trucks. Quit trucking, started a harem. Hope he is happy. Oh, really? How much does that pay, though? I mean, is there any money in a harem? I don't know. So he moved. Did he move to Utah? Nice and warm here in Florida. Nice. Jeff has studded tires. Look at the ruts in the concrete highways through Spokane. Do they use studded tires over there in Spokane? Jeff, some drivers never hold themselves accountable for being complete screw-ups. I know sometimes it's just your fault and you just move on, right? There's no failing. There's only learning. As you become successful, you just learn. Oh, that doesn't work, so I'll do something different. Not, oh, well, it's everybody else's fault, right? Gorilla Glue, exactly. Because it doesn't, I looked at it. At Meyer. It does not say do not use on your hair, just so you know. Fort Worth, Texas did a poor job of treating the roads. Yeah, what are they going to use? Panama Jack, right? initially caused the pileup. Not only reason, but the main problem that caused the domino effect. Right? I've understood now that apparently the roads are private, and that's why they were not treated. Dashcam Sam, I had a diesel Volkswagen Rabbit that wouldn't start if it looked cold outside. Don't you click it on like 12 times? Every time you click, you wait for the glow plug, turn it off, start again, wait, turn it off, turn it on, wait. Right? That's how we used to start the old diesels. We used to start the old trucks that way. Nice and warm in Florida, yikes. When I came down I-55 and lost this spot that I lost, so I'm off of it. Oh, there. From Chicago to Oklahoma, all the loves were out of washer fluid. I had plenty, bought 5 gallons at Walmart. Bring all that stuff too. Everybody's going to be buying that stuff. How do we find better companies to drive for? You just got to start calling around and asking the right questions, really, and not settle for things that you don't want. You can't settle for stuff. Kelterusu Travels. You won't have to dance around a pole for your beer. Well, thank you very much. Who says I don't like doing that? That's the question of it, especially at the manhole. You know, exactly. Where there's a wiener machine there as well. I have a clean record, just not driving experience in Oklahoma. Okay, yeah, no problems. Panama Jack, I'm really upset DF Ware did not sand the bridges. Sanding, I don't know if that would have helped down there, right? They changed ours to idle 30 minutes. Truck Hershey, that's still not enough for the weekend, right? 3-minute idle here. Fortunately, I have an APU. Avocados on a corn tortilla, seasoned with salt. Are drivers making this in their trucks? And are drivers buying avocados? The old school Finnish truckers would not be pleased. Nice. Just don't work for a bad company. Oh, well, that's, to start, that's going to be a problem. Mark's truck is an un-American Idol. Yikes. It's just a fleet truck, right? Remember the Finnish road signs during Winter War? GP is acting suspicious. GP Transco. I don't think so. They haven't said anything. So they did they're not even here at the moment. They did winter driving over the ice from Rotissi to Finland. No prep and no nothing. Yeah, but with studded tires. I mean, winter tires. I've seen the winter tires. Nice. Freddie Lagos. Who do you drive for? Weekly question. Yeah, I don't get that question that often, so that's good. For new people, I'm out here at 12:30 p.m. Eastern every day. Check local listings. See dealer for details. And I don't ever say who I drive for. It keeps them out of my videos. You know, that way, once you name where you work, you got a problem saying stuff in your videos. And so I don't recommend it to anybody. And I don't recruit for them either. If you love your company, recruit for them. I'm just not doing it. Fleet Nav Systems is taking off. Have a great week. Stay safe out there. All right, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being in the show today. Be sure to go check out their show later this week. Right, their live show on the 19th at 3 p.m. You're going to like that show. Predictive maintenance. Thought about going to Western Express. It can't be that bad. Yes, it could be. Just Google up Western Express reviews. Okay, the pictures that people have sent me just from the motel, and the motel is loosely worded, that you have to stay in while you go there, are incredible. Just that is enough to not work there. To be treated, I mean, come on. Sitting in Laredo waiting for the road to open to go to Montana, Captain Flatbed. Just park it. Come on out tomorrow. Idle at 600 horse overnight. Is it closed all the way to Laredo, by the way? Hope you're doing well. Do you know anything about Air Products? Handsome Poochie. No, I don't know that much about Air Products, other than I've seen their trucks. Maybe somebody here works for them right now. If you make money and spend money on chrome, do not buy chrome. What happened to this guy Trucks, Misty? He sent a message out that he was quitting trucking. So, yeah, so he put a community message out on his page that he's stopping YouTube and not trucking anymore. So he's on to other things. And that's the last I heard from him. So I don't know what else he's doing. That was his last message, and that's it. UP Trucker Bob. Sitting in Memphis, receivers close to the winter storm. 5,000 reload canceled. Hope it's still available when the storm passes. Tell them you'll still take it. Holy mackerel. And thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. $5,000 reload canceled. Yeah, they're going to be like, we thought about it, and how about 2,100? when we open this back up, they're like, wait a minute, why shouldn't I put that much on there? I hope it works. Did he use, let's see, where did I go after? I made 6 figures at my company. They're out there. Oh, absolutely. Right, absolutely. Has anyone used chains in a non-chain state? I've used them to get out of a parking spot. I used them to get into a pilot once. That's about it. Meets, let's see. Did he use double the NHL below? Well, I don't know. I just pour it in like it says. Why don't northern states use that chemical that melts ice and snow instead of dirt and salt? I don't know. A potassium chloride or whatever. That's what I use around the cars. You need a lot of hot air free. That is several YouTube truckers you can call. That's true. This guy Trucks is still trucking. Michael Muller. I kind of thought that maybe I didn't read it right. His community post, which you can all look at. Okay, I'm not trying to speak for him or anything, and he didn't ask me to. I thought it said he was not going to be driving anymore. Okay, but if he's still trucking, he's still trucking then. Can you do an 8-2 split after you've driven 11 hours? Well, you wouldn't need to. Oh, I see what you're saying. You can do an 8-2 split, except you won't have any driving hours because you are split. So you drive 11 hours, take 8 hours off. Okay, that's your first part of your split, but you don't have any driving hours because you need to have 10 hours off. You only can do the cumulative 11 hours. So theoretically, you're doing a split, but then you still need the other 2 hours off. So not really, I guess. Used to keep 6 anti-gel pint bottles in my truck. Look, right, Misty, when it's cold, you got to have the stuff with you because everybody buys it up like it's going out of style. Cash King Trucking, I'm sure the new bottle of Gorilla Glue will say do not use in your hair. We have to baby-proof the world. Oh, I agree because it says do not use on skin. It's a couple of things it says. I looked on there on all the different kinds. Hair's not on there. I'm going to have a container of Gorilla Glue to give out and come down to Brazil, Indiana. So first person could get a Gorilla Glue. Here they use salt and water. My van is supposed to be black. It's flat white. You're going to have to wash every time you go out, wash it. Because here, at least here, when they use the salt here mixed with beet juice in Indiana, and it sticks. It's good because it sticks to the road. But then as you're driving, it sticks to your car. So underneath, it eats your car up. 10 years, your car's all eaten up from rust, and it eats all the wires up. So get that stuff off your car. Hot water wash that sprays underneath. I have one of those unlimited wash things, so I drive it through and it sprays all the underneath. Most new trucks have a light check button. Yes, I have that. Is salt brine similar to pickle juice? Oh, interesting. Wonder if you could use pickle juice. That's kind of vinegary there, right? In my mechanical Cat 3406, Johnny come lately, I had to use 1 gallon of gas, 100 gallons of diesel. That is what older drivers would tell me when those kind of engines were out. Oh, just add some gasoline in there. You don't use it in your new engine, though. Please do not use it in the new engine. You'll set the engine code off or whatever. But yeah, back then, they added gas or kerosene in there. Jeff Rise, I'm waxing by nether regions with Gorilla Glue and start a GoFundMe. Hopefully, you'll get $20,000 for that. Would you do that for $20,000? That should be a new channel. What would I do for $20,000 with Gorilla Glue? Maybe Gorilla Glue would sponsor that channel. I'm in Utah. I'm almost became a sister wife, Misty. Yeah, you've been there long enough. Pretty soon it's just going to be like automatic over there. We're going to see, hey, Misty's on TV. What do you know? Beet juice, pickle juice, and salt brine are most common up north. It works best for the money spent, Captain Flatbed. Look, it works good. It sticks to the road. They put them out in big tanker trucks. It sticks to the road, but it sticks to your car when you're driving on it too. So the underside of your car is all rusty. People that don't wash their car, you can tell after a few years their car's all rusted. It eats their wires up underneath there, and suddenly their car's having problems. You got to wash them constantly. But yeah, I guess beet juice is cheap. Who wants a beet? I mean, it's the only thing you can do with them. I mean, they would sell those at the truck stop too. You can sell the butt wax byproduct as a cheap toupee. Right. Where can I find a good list of questions to ask a prospective company? You could make let's see, Cash King. I was looking around, and there's a Trucking Answers Nation, I think, has some questions where you could ask a list of questions to ask a prospective company. Yes. Thank you for that question. If you're going to get snowed in Roswell, be a strip club. Roswell, yikes. All aliens. And now Lamutu from Mars. I've studied snow tires through the bee's knees. That would be something. My just winter tires are incredible. Freezing ring with thunder near Birmingham. Oh, that's great. You understand Mark better than I do. He likes to dance. I do. I'm a dancer. I like to dance and I like to boogie. Do you think it's worth buying a truck right now? I don't. You're asking the wrong person. I'm not buying a truck. Even though I don't like being an employee and they probably don't like me at most places. Owning a truck is just not for me. I'd rather have them take care of the truck, have them pay me for my time, and get benefits. Once you get in your extreme upper 30s, insurance and stuff, pretty important. Use it a lot. So those kind of things are pretty expensive to buy. But there are plenty of owner-operators that do great, and I think you should ask them. Maybe Cash is King Trucking would be one to ask about that. He does all kinds of numbers and stuff. You should watch that channel. Locking trolley valves help you find air leaks. That's true. East Summers, you can pull that thing down and hear where the air's leaking too. And like mine does too, it pops back up. It has a spring on it, so you just bungee the thing to your brakes. What happened to that guy who got fired last Monday? Is he still fired? I assume so. I asked him to write to me this week. He never did. I never heard from him at all, so I have no more information. So thank you, Wild Bell. I appreciate that. No one needs to see you be a stripper, Mark. Hey, Alexandra, there's someone for everyone. That's what I say, And sure, people whip nickels at me. It's not the same as having $1 thrown at you, but hey, I'll take it. You're hurting my ears. When the Swede defendant ice were during World War II, they had 40s and possible chains. Well, that would have been something. We're glad they were doing that at least. Did you see the video I sent you of the guy telling his dispatcher he wasn't rolling? Yes. And I wondered, what I wondered about that video was, when was that video taken? Now, I know that with that company, but we don't know when that video was actually done. That was my question to you. I mean, is that like current? Could be years ago. I wanted to know, when did that happen? I was rear-ended in California, but a driver fell asleep. They'll probably find a way to make it my fault, most likely. They'll say, well, you shouldn't have been there. Air Products is a great company to work for in Houston. It requires 3 years experience. Texas trader, all right. But 3 years, then, if they're asking for that right now, it should be a pretty good place to go to, right? Keltarusu, give Mark a chance. His dance moves might work as magic on you. Maybe. It's happened to others. Kind of like a spell. Can't get on 35 in Laredo. All ramps are barricaded. Really? Oh, and you can't hit the side roads? What is it bad all the way down there, or what is the problem? And what about that toll road around there? Can you take that? Donkey Bite, Western Express Hotel looks like what most of their trucks end up looking like. Yeah, the pictures I got were just incredible. I wouldn't stay in there. I mean, even Cash is King Trucking wouldn't stay at those kind of places, and he's in the $12 rooms. So, but seriously, the motel there is nothing to speak of, certainly. This guy trucks made a lot of money in the stock market. I think enough to quit trucking. Robert Maxwell. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Well, good for him. There's plenty of room for everybody to be successful. The trucking company I work for is in Fort Worth. They don't have sand or salt trucks in Texas. I can't remember seeing any. I think they have like one truck, right? That's it for the state. The GameStop retirement plan, yeah. Hey, if you can do it, I wish I would have done that. I have to hand wash mine, and I have to do it in the blue hall, so not while it's 20. Why do you have to hand wash it? And what's in the blue hall? What does that mean? Is that like a Mason thing that we're not allowed to talk about? Keltarusu Travels. He took someone's screenshot and pretended it was his, had deleted it. Would have been a cool ending to a story, but oh well. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Have you ever tried the fluid film that you treat your undercarriage with once a year? No, I've heard of it, but I haven't done it. I just wash the car. So no, that fluid film, I've heard people put it on. I think plus I want the car to be clean, so I just wash it. An old school diesel runs on whatever as long as it's wet. Yeah, basically, right. New school diesels kill a pump long before the engine gets affected. Right, the thing won't run. You get engine codes and everything. You can't be adding gasoline to the new ones. They don't like it. But the old ones, right, basically pour anything in them you want. I heard this administration is trying to pass AB 5 across America. Really? Yeah, well, I'm not totally opposed to that. I think AB 5, the way it's written, is good. If you work for someone doing the job that they do, you're an employee. Okay, they can't just say you're 1099. That's not how it works. It already is illegal to do that. So the IRS rules are pretty clear about that. That if you do you don't work for somebody else, they control your day. They tell you what to do. You use their equipment. You're an employee. You just are an employee. If people that want to be an owner operator need to go buy the truck themselves and be able to control their day. They pick their loads. They don't get dispatched, all that stuff. That's different then. No to AB 5 or any comment for any illegal rules. Those rules are basically already in place, though, from the IRS for tax purposes. I came through Indiana on the way to and from my stops last week. My truck was filthy from all that stuff they put on the roads. Trucking with T-Bone. Exactly. That's our beet, juice, and sand combo. And that filth on there eats up their truck and car. So, same thing. Need to reach out to this guy Trucks and see if he wants to sell his channel. Yeah, exactly. He had like 60,000 subscribers. He did. He went from nothing and it's really slow and then kabloomo. I just changed the name on that to Cassius King Trucking. Yeah, now it's suddenly your channel. And by the way, there is a marketplace where you can buy and sell channels. So it is true. If truck drivers would stick together, they control the industry instead of the industry controlling the driver. If drivers would just stick to themselves and say, look, a place that has all this unpaid time, I'm not working here, the place would close. It's so simple. Like Western, it's a perfect example. You get there, you got this garbage motel with roaches and, bugs and stuff, and then you get 27 cents a mile and you're making $500 a week. You just got to leave. Then the place closes. My new truck doesn't have a trolley valve. What kind of truck is it? I know some don't have it anymore at all. Johnny come lately blast from the past. Gold bond stamps. At the truck stops of America and free meals if you took over 10 minutes to serve. Oh, I don't remember the free meals, but I still have stamps from truck stops where you would pull the thing down and you'd get your stamps. Absolutely. But I don't remember free meals if it took 10 minutes to serve. Is that that's in the trucker section only, right? What's a trolley valve? A Johnny bar, trolley valve, is the valve in the cab that you can pull and it activates only the trailer brakes. So I don't know if they have them, those there. Maybe that you don't have them. I think I'm going to leave trucking for day trading, making $5,000 a day. All right, let me know how it goes. It's not in McAllen, Texas. That's crazy. So that's why it's closed down there? Because that's not that far away. Cassius King pitches his Walmart 10 to Laredo. He doesn't give it. Right, he's just saving money. I know. I'll give it to him for that. I'm using Flex Seal tape as a mask. By the way, I'll have it just fund me. Yeah, why don't you use Gorilla Glue tape? They have Gorilla tape. It's the toughest tape on planet Earth. I have a roll of it in the truck. And there's some on this trailer. I have because the little flap that holds the light cord in, the spring was broken, so I taped it on there. TJ Jones in the Boulder Woods, 2 feet of snow in 72 hours in Northeast Oregon. Change required. That's awesome. On Cabbage Hill and 3 Mile Hill. Forget that. Oh, blue hull equals outside. Okay, I didn't know that. I agree. Sky's blue, blue hull. I don't know. I haven't seen the sky here in so long I don't know what color it is anymore. A Hereford super trucker. I'm leaving trucking for law school. Hopefully I can represent truckers after that. That'd be pretty cool. All right. Where are you going to go? You maybe get a radio show like Bill Handel because he'll be retiring soon. Trucking with T-Bone, was talking to a friend on the phone, blew the horn for the kid that did the arm pump. He said, you should have pulled the trailer brake. That'd give him a show. Not anymore with ABS. Years ago, it would have given him a good show. Van is so big it won't fit in a car wash, and truck wash is kind of expensive. Really? What do you drive around? You know that much about Lucas upper cylinder lubricant? Is it a good product? I have no idea. Anybody here use that stuff? This list of questions asked for a prospective employer can be found at Smart Trucking. That is true too. Smart Trucking has a list of those questions. If the questions at Trucking Answers Nation are insufficient. Philip Trucker, that's the sad thing. You can't get drivers to agree on anything. You could offer free money. If everyone agrees, someone would say no. I agree. Why don't drivers agree to this? Just one simple thing. I will no longer work for a place that expects me to work 20 hours a week without being paid. Can we just agree to that? I don't know why people don't agree on that. Might as well burn your money if you want a day trade. Well, PB Jelly, I'm sure some people, it works for some people. What's the point of humans if the cars, trucks drive themselves and robots do everything? Well, that's what the robots will be saying to each other. Why do we have all these people around? The Johnny bar is a railing at the manhole used for bracing yourself, presumably if you're just simply unsteady on your feet. The only way to make $5,000 day trading is to start with $500,000 bankroll. Johnny come lately. Free meals to truckers only didn't last long. I used to eat for free in Harrisburg. They must have lost a fortune. Oh, yeah. I don't remember that part. I don't remember that. I remember the stamps. So we can text, right? You'd be able to text as the thing drives itself. The point is to make us jobless and dependent on that government cheese. That stuff, if I could get a government cheese every day, I'm in. That stuff is so good. You all laugh about it. That cheese was delicious. Flex Seal, much better hair product than Gorilla Glue. Well, let's have a challenge to try both. See who gets more in GoFundMe money. That's the winner. Buy a fully automatic truck and put it on the streets like a hooker. That's what companies are going to do. That's how they're actually selling this. Just saying fleets can have some of these. They won't need to add drivers, and they can still add trucks. So they're ahead of you on that. That does sound right, even though the little guy doesn't want to hear that. Kyle, Elite Trucking and Entertainment kept exposing this guy trucks, so he quit YouTube and trucking both. Yeah, he never said why he was quitting, just said he had other things, so I don't know. EB5 didn't change anything. It's just acted an enforcement for existing law, Roger Penske. Right? All it's doing is enforcing what the IRS is already saying. If you work for someone else, they dispatch you. They buy the truck. They buy the fuel. They do everything. You're an employee. How are you a 1099? How can you be independent? You're not. An independent contractor is just that. You control your day. You bring the equipment. You provide the equipment. You determine how the work is done. You can work for multiple places at one time. That's an independent contractor. Okay, there's somebody. I use Lucas and it works fine. I'm a believer. Kept it flat, but I know somebody would use that stuff. As a company driver, they really don't. They don't put that stuff. They barely turn to oil, so they're not going to be buying Lucas. I couldn't believe when there was a case of power service to use. Old Consolidated Freightways did not have a hand valve in those old Freightliners because it didn't work with doubles. Oh, why wouldn't it work with doubles? It should activate all the trailers, right? Trolley valve is a dance move I perfected in 2006. Believe me, there's a video out about that. You need axle grease for the popular super trucker back slick. Nice. We can get that cleaned up with something. So Lucas does work, dash cam Sam. Government cheese was great. My grandma even made cheesecakes with it. Oh, Bill 777. Yeah, I don't know about that. My grandfather would volunteer at some food pantry, and they were giving it out when that stuff was popular, and they would give him a bag at the end of the day also for volunteering, and he would bring that home because I was living with him. My parents were divorced or whatever. Mark, nobody cares about your life. That's true. Okay, but anyway, so my mom and me lived with him, which is her dad and her mom, and he would bring a bag of that, and we had I don't know how many things of this cheese all over the place. Holy mackerel, it's so good. I don't know what they put in it. I guess because it sits in caves and ferments. Cassius King, I heard you took the trailer whip and took out a whole chicken coop. That'd be something. Why do we need another law? The IRS already has a formula to determine employees and independent contractors, and 90% failed the test because it isn't enforced. It needs to be enforced. Independent contractors, drivers who are doing that are lowering the pay for everybody and are lowering competition for everybody. A company that can have you drive a truck and not pay you any benefits. Benefits are expensive. And I don't just mean insurance. I mean workman's comp, Social Security, all that. That costs a lot of money. They don't have to pay that. They can take a lower rate and still make the same money. That hurts everybody else by people who are working illegally. Everybody, to be competition, to be fair, everybody needs to be on the same playing field. And that isn't fair to other people that are doing it right. And so that's why I think, all these companies should be shut down, really, and people doing this illegally ought to be fined or whatever. JB Weld will help keep your hair falling out. That's what Paul Harvey always said. Remember? He always talked about JB Weld. That's what he was talking about. So can all the people get their money back now from all the tickets for text and drive for not having both hands on the wheel? Grand Jeep. H&H green stamps and gold bond stamps. Remember those days? Yes, I have tons of those stamps still. SS8. I use Lucas fuel additive in my diesel motorhome and love it. See, I was never big additive. I have heat running in the cars right now because it's so cold, but other than that, I don't do that much of that. Lucas is good in the lawn tractor. Government peanut butter in a can was good after you stirred the oil on top. Yeah, it seems like it was a big can that you needed a can opener to open back then. You had a big can opener to open that up. The one from school that you spin around like this. Just use gray AstroTurf, then rivet it to your head. That would work too. Looking to get a truck GPS, Ram McNally or Garmin, Highway Freak? I use my phone. Okay, I'm a big phone GPS person, just Google Maps. Because I don't trust the truck GPSs. I just don't. I've seen too many instances where people are in the wrong spot or whatever, so I don't trust it. And I know Google Maps is not truck specific, so I'm not to trust it. I'm just using it for directions and figuring out the roads myself through a paper map and calling the place I'm going, really. So I haven't found a good truck GPS. If somebody has one and uses it, I'm in, but I don't use one. You need 25,000 to get past the pattern day trade rule. Under 25, you only get 3 trades every 5 business days. Oh, so somebody's already out there trading. Texas trader. Works as a stopgap power steering fluid. Well, you're killing it with 145 people watching Trucking Tips. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody being here. Believe me, the show is you. It isn't me. Otherwise, it would just be me talking to myself. I can do that with the cat. I mean, it's what everybody else has to contribute. It's not me. Want to keep your hair from falling out? Don't work in retail. Oh, or use Gorilla Glue. Apparently, it won't fall out at all. Captain Flatbed, hit the like button. I appreciate it. I can remember the Lucas countertop demo where you could see it climb up spinning gears. Right, they had those at the truck stops. Oh, which reminds me of Matt's Mid-America Truck Show. They said that February 15th, they will put a message out and decide what day they're going to have it, if it's going to be in September of this year or if it's going to be next March. I was on there at noon, no message. So hopefully by next week, we'll know what the Mid-America is doing. If it's coming, whenever it's coming, I'll be at the next Mid-America also, besides being at Brazil in April. First weekend of April, and also at Truckers Jamboree on Saturday. I think it's July 10th, which is in Walcott, Iowa. So come on out and get your free Gorilla Glue. First person only. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. If 1099 were enforced, FedEx would be put out of business. They should be then, because they're doing that illegally. It just needs to be an even playing field so everybody can compete fairly. Does anyone else remember the all-you-can-eat steak at Rip Griffin's in Moriarty, New Mexico? Ooh, I don't remember that either. It seems like Grand Island, one of those Bosselmans out there used to have a hamburger challenge, which I completed many years ago. Got my picture on the wall. I'm sure it's not up there now. This would have been, oh my gosh, 90s. But it was 2-pound hamburger. You had to choose 2 toppings, which was weird, and fries and a drink, and you had an hour to eat it, and you got it free. Otherwise, it was like $39.95. I ate it in 41 minutes or something. And so it was less than an hour, and I got it free, and I got my picture on the wall. Pretty good. A lot of fun. I got a T-shirt, too. Don't know what happened to it. Well, Bill, I had to stop and clean the ice from my wipers. Well, see, why don't they provide you with heated wipers? You said you have a lot of new trucks there. Lucas is good at removing money from truckers' wallets. It's the best product for that. I'm always a little hesitant for additives, other than something to keep the fuel from gelling. I don't know that, I don't know if anything works. I mean, we barely maintain the trucks and they drive them a long way, so I'm not sure if it helps. The Hammer app works great. Oh, really? It's everybody that signs up gets free parachute pants when you first sign up. I don't even think the index funds are safe anymore. I know. I was just thinking to myself, probably index funds aren't even safe. I don't know. The original Luddites were British weavers, and textile workers who objected to the increased use of mechanical looms and knitting frames. They called themselves Luddites after Ned Ludd. Really? Is that true? Ned Ludd. Hi, I'm Ned Ludd. Welcome. Grand Jeep, what about y'all? Give a thumbs up. The show's awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Believe me. I'm happy that anybody comes in, as I always say, and that is the truth. Are you getting back your day cab in the future, Philip Trucker? Only if I get off of this run that I'm on. This run has a sleeper, so I'll be in the sleeper. And I prefer the sleeper, believe me. It's way quieter. Oh my gosh. Any of you local drivers, go get a sleeper and just use that. Holy mackerel. I know. Well, Bill doesn't even have heated wipers yet. They're not treating him well over there. Do they use them over there, I should say? Are they more popular? All driver, four-wheeler, and big drivers need to learn the Smith system. Yes, and then they need to stop driving when it's too bad to drive. Johnny come lately, I'm not big on additives, but I do use Lucas and Rain-X instead of windshield wash fluid. I use the Rain-X fluid, I will say that. And I treat the windshield, but I also have Rain-X fluid. You're required, of course, as you know, to have windshield wash fluid in the truck. It has to work, so it doesn't have to be full, but you have to have some. I mean, the container can't be empty. Can we put Gorilla Glue in Mitch McConnell's chapstick? Troy, no, because he'd probably start a GoFundMe. Gorilla Glue sounds better than Staples to close on surgeries. Keltarusu, they do have a surgical glue for that. My friend who had a couple of organs transplanted, okay, it's been, I guess, 18 months, maybe a couple years. They used a bunch of glue on him. I talked to him about it, right? He's the one that lives in Florida. Because he had to move next to the, or close to the surgical center down there where they were waiting for organs. And they glued him up. He's this huge, scars. They glued him up. He got a liver and kidney transplant all at one time. How about that? That's a big surgery. The bill's incredible. Incredible. We might see a time when we're called truckadites. Yeah. Trump donated his paycheck every year to charity. Joe Biden is going to donate to our paychecks. That's good, but if he donated it to our paychecks, it wouldn't go far. It's only $400,000, and there's a lot of us. So we'd actually probably get the same amount as drivers do that get settlements with large trucking companies. Don't put Gorilla Glue in your hair or private parts. It doesn't say that on the bottle, by the way. It does say skin. So I guess we could eliminate private parts, but it does not say hair. Cash King, I assume you don't like Lucas. He also doesn't like Lucasfilms, not a Star Wars fan. Because anything with Lucas in it. Well, Bill doesn't want to spoil himself. Bring in $350 million from other hustles. Donate a salary to Con the Plebes. That'd be pretty good. Too late. I haven't peed for 2 weeks. Yeah, because it's so cold out. Dottie's in Cuba, Missouri has a burger challenge. Yeah, there are different ones around the country. That one, I just happened to go in there one day and was hungry and thought, oh, okay, I'll just eat a gigantic hamburger for free. They take your picture in advance. This was then. Because she said, look, because whether you eat it or not, we're putting your picture on the wall. There was a fail wall, too. So, and they took an instant picture. I felt like Jim Rockford in there, okay, for those of you that remember that. 5 likes. All right, well, I appreciate it either way. The Grumpy Trucker, thank you for another great show. Well, thank you for being here. They trashed the first mechanical looms, but they still wound up unemployed. Dang it. All I'm asking is that people that compete on an even keel. That's it. So when a company takes a driver and says, all right, we're not giving you any benefits, including benefits afforded to other employees, like workman's comp, unemployment, and self-employment tax that they pay their part of it, which is in their Social Security and all that. That's not even then, because they saved that money. You don't get the benefit of it. You did the same job. They can charge less for their rates, and that hurts everybody. That hurts all the owner-operators. If anybody should be mad about this, it should be owner-operators because it's not helping their rates. They have to compete with some place that they can't compete with. How's that Porsche is running? Oh, yeah, Porsches are doing great, I assume, at the dealers. So, Luddite Trucking. There might be one. To be honest, they use Garmin. Okay, but a friend of mine told me about the Hammer app, and it gives the same route as the Garmin for the runs that I did, Bill 777. It'd be interesting to put a Garmin truck GPS versus just Google Maps. Because, look, let's be honest, most of the route is fine on Google Maps, right? Probably 98% of it. It's just the first couple miles and the last couple miles. Otherwise, you could use Google Maps. Well, Bill, you don't even have heated mirrors. Is that even true? Even the new trucks don't have heated. Every car. Well, no, I guess some cars don't. But most cars have heated mirrors. How does a truck not have heated mirrors today? I mean, do they not consider that important? I thought all trucks by now had heated mirrors. Trucking tips. I have a creator question. Any advice accepting or looking for a sponsor? Yeah, as sponsors, you can always email anybody. And as you get bigger, you will get emails constantly from different people that want to be on the channel for whatever reason. And so just to talk to them, right? That's just as simple as that, and you set your price if you have a price, and you can get free things sent to you. My dash cam they sent me, which I love. Okay. And sometimes it's like that. They didn't pay me for that, but they go, here's a dash cam, try it out and do a video about it if you like it. So you get stuff like that too. So yeah, so just do that. But only on stuff you like. Okay, that's why there's very few commercials here from me, because I don't want to be out, people think, and then something doesn't work out right. So I don't do many of those. Most cab overs here are sleeper cabs. Unless you drive for the ultra cheap companies like Post Nord. Those cheapies, you get a cab over day cab. Remember those? Who remembers a cab over day cab? So you just do your 45 and grab some Z's. I wish. Lucas has no additives, just straight filtered crude. What, like Beverly Hillbillies. What is your thoughts on the Fort Worth, Texas pileup? I think people are following too close. Some people are calling for all banned to all semis. Nice. Or to be grounded during bad weather. Well, why not everybody grounded during bad weather then? But what I heard from, I could have been on this show or someone in the comments of a video said that because the road is privately owned, that it wasn't salted as much. That salt had been limited to save money. And if that's the case, then the people who did not treat the road should be jailed for, that kind of thing, for causing those deaths. Another person died today. Wild Bill 2 does have heated mirrors, though. He just builds a fire in the cast iron fire baskets under the mirrors. Those, yeah, because that's where the candles go. Home Depot is starting a new aisle called hair products from Gorilla Glue. I wondered that too. So you go to the store. I actually looked at that at Meijer to make sure, and thinking, okay, I need a hair care product. So you're over at the pharmacy part, which is where all the hair care stuff is. The Gorilla Glue is like 10 aisles down, and with the tape, masking tape, duct tape, paint, and all. It's down there. So how do you happen to pick that up? I wondered about that too. Super glue started as a medical glue the Army used in Vietnam before it was officially approved. Okay, I know there's glue to stick you back together because my friend had a bunch of it stuck on him, and he said it just kind of dissipates over time. So, and he's doing good now. He barely made it. It was so close. Ronan Roy 81. I'm liking it here at ATS Trucking. All right, how are they doing today? Where are you today? And how's that pay system work there where the pay floats, if it's more, you make more? Does that work out good? Amsoil all the way. There are likers of Amsoil. Again, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think there's a benefit to the extra money. Wipers, mirrors, and back windows are a sign of weakness. That's the thing. I was thinking about that the other day, that, if I had a back window, then I could see the front of my trailer. But that's it. I remember the old Crazy Glue commercials on TV. The guy stuck his head to an I-beam in a helmet. He stuck his helmet there. There were basket fire smokes up the glass and have to wipe it away. So that keeps it clean. Does Rain-X really work? Yes. I used it back when I came out, and it wasn't impressed with the film it left on my windshield. Is it any better? Gear Jammer, it is. They have a gel now that you can apply on your glass, not when it's cold like this, but when it's warmer, apply it, let it film it up, take it off. I also wax the windshields of my cars when I wax the cars. So I do that, wax the entire car, including the windshield. But Rain-X works, and then I use the Rain-X windshield washer fluid, which helps keep it applied, and it really does work, and the water beads away. It really works. Hammer and Trucker Path were just as effective as Garmin, just my opinion. Yeah, see, so is it worth buying a Garmin for a few $100? I prefer Prolong engine block treatment. It usually reduces your RPMs. Just watch your tachometer before and after treatment. You'll see and feel the results. Well, let's ask this, George Wilson. The reducing RPMs, the RPMs would be controlled by the computer of the truck anymore. It's not like years ago. So I honestly don't know how it would reduce your RPMs. It seems like Prolong would make it longer, if anything else. Another lawsuit against Western Express over wages. This is a continuation, and if this is the one in Washington that I just read about, is a continuation of a previous lawsuit that Western Express, amazingly, doesn't pay minimum wage. Can you believe that? It's so hard to believe it's such a great company. But true. So the driver says it's true. We'll see in court. They want it transferred to Nashville. Judge said no way. That's not happening. Next week, we're suing Mark over no actual roller wieners in the roller wiener live feed. There was a wiener at the beginning of the show. Does an 18-speed inherently get better mileage than the DT12 or even a 10 or 13-speed? It's all in how it's geared, right? So not necessarily. Because you're only splitting the gears. It's the final drive that's going to get you. They use gear grabbers boxers. When is that, right? Oh, wow, thanks, Trucking Tips. I'm so lazy I would only do dry van if I trucked again. It's not bad. I mean, it's the lazy way to do it. It's the least work, certainly. Where'd my wiener go, as they say? Oh, there it is right there, right. And it's a new wiener, too. Nobody commented on it, but... It's a new wiener this week. I thought everybody would enjoy having a new wiener. Sometimes you got to have a refreshed wiener. Really. Let's see, where did I go off? Where did that go to? Okay, that's down there. There we go. Everyone hit that like for Mark. He deserves 150 trucking tips. I appreciate it. I love Rain-X. The main trick with Rain-X is to wipe the excess off after application. It works best in a lot of rain. Yeah, the more rain, the better. The faster you go, the better it works. And you do need to apply it liberally, no matter your persuasion. No matter what you believe, this needs to be put on liberally. And I like the gel. It sticks on there better. Let it fog up and wipe it off. Saudi Arabia, the king got annoyed over traffic, so only legal to drive trucks at night. Is that true? I believe that. Which dash cam do you have? I have an Acaso dash cam, which from what I understand, they don't have out on Amazon anymore. But I would certainly recommend that model. This one faces forward and into the cab. Now, you can turn off the cab-facing one, which I do. But if someone were to walk up to your truck like an officer, you hit a button on it, and bingo, now you're filming in the cab also. There's no question about what happened because you have a camera facing you. So the officer couldn't later say something, and you can show exactly what happened if you need to. I run that all the time the truck is moving, the dash cam's running. I don't understand the 34-hour reset. How'd they come up with the number 34? Luke, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because they figured you need a little over a day and a night to get a good night's sleep. That's what they thought. They're like, okay, this will be plenty of rest. After that much, then you rest. I think a lot of companies had something to say with that because that's a perfect amount to give you off like Saturday morning to Sunday night, right? So, perfect. Wonder if they lifted something that I lost. Oh, okay. Well, they still do it. I didn't believe it till I tried it, and the water beads off the windshield to the point you could drive without wipers. Johnny come lately. If you're going highway speeds, and it depends on the rake of the windshield and how far back it's angled. It works better on cars. But, on a car in the highway, no problem. And a truck, some of them, it does work great where you don't need wipers the whole day. A company still has cab over day cabs. I'm just wondering if anybody remembered cab over day cabs. My chicken hauler, my 2014 Mac has heated mirrors. I know. They aren't powered, but I can manually roll down the window and manually move them if needed. But they're heated at least. I mean, come on. I didn't think anybody had non-heated mirrors anymore. What's with this trend of operating at night without any cab marker lights? Look at the truck. It's always a Kenworth. They're almost always a Kenworth. Why? Or sometimes it's a Mac. Because there's a million buttons to turn all the lights on. That R model Mac I had in Chicago to pull containers, I had to come in early. I had to come in like 10 minutes early to turn all the lights on. I felt like I was launching the space shuttle to turn on all the lights of this truck. It seemed like every single yellow light on the truck had a different button. You're flicking turning buttons on, outside, inside, 2 lights, 3 lights, lights on the side of turntles. Every light took a different button, and so I think drivers just forget to turn all the 14 switches on to turn all their lights on. But I agree, I've seen a lot of that too. Grand Jeep, I get 56 cents a mile, $10.99. See, but you're probably illegal. With 6 years, I'm looking for something better. And I think just the $10.99 part is not legal there. And see, if nothing else, to get $10.99, they should give you the benefit of more money. And so you can get, right off the top of my head, bar none, 60 cents, right? So GP Transco, 55 cents plus bonuses, or 52 cents or something. So there's plenty of places paying this kind of money. Right off the top of my head, Schuster, right, Dot Foods, all these places pay this money. So you're not getting the benefit of $10.99 at least. If they were giving you 70 cents or 74 cents, then I'm like, well, at least they're splitting the bonus with you. Greyhound can be the crack company of the week. That home every day at some places. Rome Mines TA in Morris, Illinois, 4-pound burger. Really? That's not that far from me. Tina Jones, I live on a private road. The county or state do not salt or sand or plow the road. They don't do any maintenance in any way. Well, it's private, right? So it's not their road. So I hope you, can you get a running start before you get home today to get back to your house? If you want 2 wipers, you better choose wisely. Well, you used to only have to run 1 wiper at a time because you could turn them on individually. Astro Geek, like a GMC Astro. I drove through there Wednesday night. They did not treat the roads. Well, that was only Wednesday. John Oakley, our place restaurant in the TA in Morris has some big sandwich. If you eat it all, you get your picture on the wall. Excellent food. I hope it's open now. It was closed for the pandemic. I'll have to look that up. That's not that far. That'd be an interesting place to go. We could all meet there. We could all meet there one day, and everybody gets the sandwich. I'm in Orangeburg, South Carolina. They're very transparent. They let you know the mileage pay and the percentage pay on your dispatch. Good. They should. 34 hours is a day and a 10-hour break. Right. But saying it works out for companies perfectly, they can get you home Saturday morning. You could leave Sunday night, and you still get your 34-hour break. So it works out good for the company. Not for you. You don't see your family because you come home and sleep and all that. But companies don't care about that. Gearjammer downloaded the Hammer. All right. It looks easy. My Garmin Desi 720. Isn't that great? If you ask me, I just use Google Maps. That's what I think. Google Maps. You prefer sedans for cars, George Wilson? For me, I do. Yes, I prefer to drive a car around. Yes. Since we had our other Escape, and the wife liked it because of the height on it, so we got another one that's for her because of the way it sits and stuff. But for me, I'll take a car. Do you pay for plow service or do you do it yourself? Right? Do you just have that road plowed? Johnny, come lately. I'm dating myself. I'm dating myself. Oh, but I worked on a fleet of mid-70s Peterbilt cabovers. Wow, and they had heated mirrors. Wow, that would have been pretty good back then. I don't remember having them until 90s, probably. It's sleeting now. Yeah, you're getting part 2, as I'm sure you saw in the weather. You need to get home immediately on your private road and just getting your house under the blankets, basically. Joe, DFW Postal Service used to have day cabovers. Not sure if they still do. Probably not. But they're the weirdest looking things if you've ever seen a day cabover. The cab's like 2 feet wide. Sauerkraut and salsa? You bet. Depends on what you're getting it on. But yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Gasoline company I used to work for had day cab GMC Astros. I thought they were cool. They're weird looking, but you can certainly get in and out of places. Knight Swift has to pay $100 million to owner-operators. Do you know about this? Yeah, they paid it out a while ago, and a number of people sent me checks, some for as much as $7,000. And we freak. So that money went out last year sometime. But yeah, they settled a lawsuit from owner-operators, lease drivers, that they hosed them on the lease, basically. Now, they don't admit any wrongdoing, of course, just that we're going to pay out $100 million but didn't do anything wrong. And some people got thousands of dollars. It depends on how long you had leased your truck from them. But a number of people sent me a check. Look at all the money I got from them. I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome. Here's my GoFundMe. A pig pen. Thanks for a great show. Go pick up some wieners that have been rolling all day and to get Gracie some catnip. She loves catnip. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And she loves it. She's had a few catnip toys and goes crazy for them. I like mustard on a chili cheese dog. It depends what's on the dog already, really. I heard Wild Bill still drives a cracker box. Nice. I think Mark should be offered a show on trucking radio. Joe, well, that'd be pretty awesome. But I doubt that would happen. A show they're going to limit what you say. And I notice this on XM all the time because I listen to 146 when I'm not listening to Sinatra. And sometimes the host will read ads for like England or whatever. And I don't know if you have to do that or whatever, but I'm not reading an ad for England. Okay, that's not going to happen. I prefer coops. I have a degree in coopology from the University of Coopological Sciences. I want to be able to get in the back seat. I got a bunch of stuff I might want to put back there or whatever. How about a big sedan? Can we talk XJL? That's where it's going to be. Still saving up for that coffin sleeper. Oh, those were the days, right? The Hool goes with the classics. Michael Muller gets 52 cents with W2 and no driver-facing cam, but a road camera. See, so that you're getting full benefits of unemployment, workman's comp. You say what people always say. Well, may never need that. Well, you never know. If you get hurt on the job, it's nice to have workman's comp. So, where you get everything taken care of. Will you be able to get the graphics I made you on Google Drive? I should be able to, yes. If you get 56 cents as $10.99, you make less than a Swift driver. Exactly, because you're paying both sides of the tax, too. The 7.25%, 7.5% or whatever that the company pays, now you pay as self-employment tax. So you lose that amount already. So, because you have to file. And so you're already losing that. No workman's comp, no unemployment, stuff that other companies have to pay into a driver. You're at 56 cents, it isn't worth it. If they're giving you a bonus, then I get it. But they're not giving you any kind of bonus. Al Johns, oh, you barely made it. Well, I appreciate you being here anyway. Greyhound used to have an airline. Crack Air. Oh, my God. The Greyhound of an airline? It's bad enough in the bus. Ice in Hattiesburg and Gulfport, Mississippi. That's crazy. You should be home today, I hope. Tina Jones, I'm close to the entrance, but I didn't have any problems coming home. Okay, good. You'll have a tough time getting out in the morning. I'm sure you saw that. TA and Morris is infested with Swift trucks. Michael Muller, isn't there there's a Sam's Club, right? Or Walmart distribution center there, Sam's distribution. They have that account, don't they? Morris is outside of Chicago on I-80 as you head west. If people don't know, Johnny come lately had an Astro 318, 13 speed, great truck for its time. That's true. I had an Astro, not bad. You could certainly see everything, and everybody could see what you're doing in there. Tommy Cash, maybe related. I did a 1099 for 1 year. Half my pay went for truck upkeep. The other half went to taxes. Awesome. See, you shouldn't be paying for the truck, certainly, unless it's your truck. There shouldn't be any upkeep. There's no. Unless you own the truck, you shouldn't pay anything to keep up the truck. If you own the truck, then of course you're keeping up the truck. But like, if you're an employee, I expect to not have to pay to upkeep the truck. Ford Escape gets bullied by Prius owners? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not with this one. No Prius owners keeping up with me. My little Focus does a really good job in the snow. Tina Jones. I had two Focuses, so I'm with you. I had a 5-speed Focus and an automatic Focus, so I love them. I'm a huge fan. But the Focuses were mainly, the 5-speed was mine, but the auto was the wife's car. A little harder for to get it in and out of as we get into our extreme upper 30s because it's lower. So we got the other Escape. We had a 15 Escape for a while that she liked. It's taller, which is just, the Escape is a SUV of the Focus. And so then we got this one, traded that in on this one. And so that's where we are at this point. Kroger used the cab over day cab, but it was cool. They had air starters. Those are not cool. I remember coming in, we had air trailers for a while, and we'd have to hook those up. And I remember seeing not CF, but whatever XPO was before they were XPO. I can't remember the name of that. Conway. They used to have air starters, and that's the weirdest thing, hearing that thing start. Hit that button and that starter spins up. What if you had a truck that leaked air? Sometimes you get these trucks that leak air. Holy mackerel, your truck won't start. Now you're stuck. That isn't any good. Holy mackerel. I cheat to have a carport to park under. Oh, okay, so you just won't be able to get out. Okay. I'm surprised how long it took for disc brakes on semis to be okayed, Michael Muller. I know, and still, we don't have any. Even the new trucks are not coming with them. They're an option. So, but until they're standard, we won't get them. Heck, I just got power windows. A couple trucks ago, so probably 14, maybe 15, I crank windows. Just get a truck with direct drive transmission. That'll give people reason to bitch about fuel prices. Alexander, I have direct drive. Keltarusu, the 1099 is bad for drivers with experience, but as soon to be CDL driver, 1099 job is the way to be paid. Mega carrier companies use newbies as slave labor. So do 1099. They're making all that money on you. You're not benefiting, and you're getting at least at a mega carrier, you have the benefit of if you get hurt, you can at least have that benefit. Where 1099, they're like, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. While Bill drove a Mack cab over day cab with a Super 10. Wow. That would have been something to drive around. That would have been like the worst. UPS had day cab over Max. No cab jack. Pull the lever and tilt the cab. Like manually. Or does it have a big spring? Rural Mines at the T and More are still closed. Oh, too bad. When that opens up, we should make a day over there. If you're going to be 1099, you need to be making 75% of the gross. You need to make a large benefit of it. If they're going to not offer you the things that they otherwise have to pay for, they're saving money. So if nothing else, they're saving a ton of money. Unemployment, workman's comp, not cheap on people. So if they get to save that, you got to go in there and say, look, you're going to need to cut me in on this if we're going to do this illegal deal with the government. That's what you should tell them. The first truck I drove in 81 was a day cab non-sleeper, 74 Freightliner. 2-axle pulling double flatbeds. No air ride except my seat. 290 Cummins and a 10-speed. Yeah, it took a while to get air ride, that's for sure. Troy, I should put Gorilla Glue in my wife's boyfriend's shampoo. Maybe. He's costing me a fortune on the water bill. Fortunately, it would probably just smell worse and start GoFundMe. Yes. Okay. Sedans are for newbies. Wagons for the win. You can't get a wagon here. That's the thing. I would get a wagon. Really can't get one. I'm a big fan of wagons. A big Electra State, I'm in. I looked at a Tour X from Buick too. I thought, oh, all right, 2X, I could be in on that. I'm sorry, Bill. Wow, Bill, you should sue because the Super 10. No doubt. We need to sue Super 10s. Gracie seems like a niphead. She is. You put it out, boom. It's the one thing that'll wake her up. If you're stuck at home and love cats, watch the Talking Kitty Cat on YouTube. Oh my gosh. If you type cats into YouTube, you're done for hours. You drove one of those dragon wagons? I've seen them out there. Never had one of those. Had a 9-speed with Georgia overdrive. He just wants to look cool. Prolong caused the internal parts of the engine to slip. The computer has nothing to do with control when you introduce this product into the crankcase. But what? So for the cost, though, what is my benefit of this? What is the benefit to me? The Super 10 was a joke back then. Yeah, that's true too. It was. The last, I didn't have one that long ago. Maybe 13 or 14 was the last one. And it was a loaner. They're like, here, go drive this truck. I'm like, oh, I see why this is sitting in the back lot. You're a old iron when the wipers are vacuum driven. That's true. Then they're not synced. You had 2 knobs, for people that don't know. You used to have 2 knobs in the dashboard, one for each wiper, and as you turn the knob more, it just went faster and faster. So it was infinite control of the speed, and you can have them at different speeds. You could just turn one on and turn the other one on. You could wipe each one individually by pressing the button. So absolutely. Clean it, When you didn't have the squeeze bottle thing on your left foot on the floor, there used to be a bulb down there you pressed, and it squirted. As you pressed it, it squirted water on the windshield or whatever you had in there. Fortunately, the thing to fill the windshield wash fluid was behind your seat in a lot of Fords. If there's a truck stuck on the shoulder, slow down, allow the truck to slow lane and move over. Don't be responsible. Always. I remember air-powered wipers on freight shakers, yes. In Morris, Illinois, the truck stop had a 5-pound burger in an hour to eat it. Let's go over there and try it sometime this spring. The old day cab trucks rode so rough you'd have to stand up when you saw a big bumper pothole, like riding motocross, because the seats you'd hit your head on the ceiling and then bottom out on the bottom. Air starters are for city slickers. Yeah, no doubt. Pony motors are for manly men. Of course, you don't want to be starting that 40 times. Not sure if it's changed, but I had to buy workman's comp when I was an owner-operator. Unless you were incorporated, you could never use it. You have to buy, what do they call it? Occupational accident insurance or whatever, and I don't know if it's required. A lot of people do. It isn't the same as workman's comp, OC-AC, as they call it. But these 1099 places, a lot of them don't even offer that. You have no protections at all, and I don't think that's worth it. That's one of the things I want as an employee. Right, I'm a full employee, so if I do get hurt on the job, although I do very little work, okay, I'd still be covered, and that's a big deal. Drivers are very likely to be injured at some point in their life. Tina Jones, I'm in trucking school for the second time in my life. Well, welcome back. Go full old school, 5-gear shifters, 21-inch steering wheels. So I've had manual steering. No servos and chain drive. I haven't quite gone back to chain drive. Can't understand these Misty. I can't understand these bad companies. There's so many good companies. Why would anyone work for Western England or CRST? I know. There's tons of good places to work that pay you for your time, give you a good wage, are professional with you, don't gripe at you today when the bad weather, and then people still stay at these bad places. There's so few, but they suck up all the drivers because they have money, and so they advertise. And it's so hard for better places to find drivers. My Pete 579 is power everything and heated mirrors. That's the way it should be now. This is 2021. Your car and truck should have all these things. Let's see. The Hool. Here you need a commercial driver certificate on top of the CDL. The first course for new drivers is 140 hours. Then every 5 years you have to do a 40-hour refresher. Really? So every driver over there has to have basically continuing education? All right. This is a good question. So every 5 years, by then you're working, presumably. Does the company pay for your refresher course, or is there no charge for it? Tina Jones, I let my physical lapse too long, so I've got to start over. Oh. I didn't realize that. So they canceled the CDL because of no physical. Okay. I have 3 BMW wagons. Yeah, they don't sell those here though in the United States anymore. They sold them for a little bit, and it's hard to find. There's an XF wagon too, which they stopped selling for Jaguar, which would be the one of those over BMW I'd get. They don't sell it anymore. That's that's terrible. Don't let Wild Bill do your test. You have to buy a new tester. Yeah. Consolidated Freightways and PIE had air starters. Great when you were sleeping and had one parked next to you. Johnny come lately. Right. That thing is super loud if you've never heard one. Back in the day, you got one wiper and one mirror. The other was optional. I remember cars without it on the right side. I've had a number of cars where it didn't come with it. Gearjammer drove those GMC Astros also, 318 Detroit and a 10-speed, very common in them. 80,000 over the Grapevine from LA to Bakersfield, 16 in fourth gear. Yeah, 3,000, exactly. In really old Beetles, the washer was driven from the spare tire. Wow. DOT physical refresher every few years. Misty, I've got a friend who brings home what I do, but she's 1099. She crapped herself when she did her taxes. Oh, did she find out all the things she has to pay into? Look, that's 7.25 or 7.5. I don't remember what it is. That's self-employment tax. So absolutely. And if she's bringing home what you do, you have all the benefits of a company. It's not worth 1099. She should be making 50% more than you. What do you think about 70 cents 1099? That's much better. That's much better because remember, 7 point whatever percent is automatically gone to taxes right out of that 70 cents that other people don't pay. But you still have the benefit of all the company's benefits that you're not going to get. Depends if you need them. Roadway trucks had air starters. That's right, because you could hear them firing up over there down 394, right? All the way to your house, probably. Let's see, where did I go off to? Air wipers were the best. I was able to set the speed. That's right. It was infinite speed changing. Started into 73 cab over. Yeah, you just moved a little bit. They went a little bit faster. Usually I would only run one. I would usually only run the driver's side one. Tina Jones, I never even got my certificate from CRST that I even graduated. Really? If you graduated, why didn't they give you? Or do they not give it out until you pay the money? Waiting for someone to brag that they drove a steam-powered truck during the Great Depression. Look, some people on here have been driving a long time. What I recall annoyed me was one in the Volvo and Scania has a foot button for the exhaust brake. And if you miss it, you open up the fresh air intake on the front. Really? Like some old Max here we used to have. Wonder why the button's on the ground for that. Michael Muller, Western is a predator. Ran across a video from a driver who got canned from Covenant for touching her phone while driving. Yep. And got pulled over for it, but Western Express gave her a job. Western Express, I guess the purpose that they serve is that people that can't get a job in trucking because of something like this can get a job at Western Express. That's kind of where they sit in the industry. If you have some felonies, you can't get a job at other trucking companies. And problems like this, a phone issue, they'll still hire you. And I think touching the phone and using the phone is two different things, but Western serves that purpose. I'm in my second full week at Schuster and couldn't be happier, running a 22 International. Wow. You're driving in the future already, your future paychecks, but I'm glad it's going good there. For the record, I never drove a one-stack Mac with a window in the back. Oh, you're one of the only ones. It's because most truckers are selfish and they don't teach the new drivers how this trucking industry works. Well, it's hard to get the information out because at truck school, these places are bombarding the drivers right at truck school and having them sign up. And nobody really researches. People research what to wear more than they do bigger things in their life. For a while I sold cars. People would just come in and just buy a car. I don't know, just take it, whatever is it red, I want it. They don't research anything like this. This is changing your whole life, a full career. And now there's an internet thing. Can you do 10 minutes of research on stuff? But people don't do it. Here in Europe, a CDL so you can drive a heavy truck. There's a C1 and a full truck. So there's tons of different ways to do it. Carlos Cervantes. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Another license to drive the trailer. Yikes. Audi 80, 100, or 200 for the win. Wow. Michael Muller, nice. Classic. Why not just a Quattro? Then you still need to get the YKB to be allowed to be a commercial driver. Well, do they pay for all this? Who pays for this training? Is it free or how much is it? Wish I was a super trucker so I could get out of Longview, Texas. That's who's going to be out there. Believe me, there's going to be drivers on the CB. Oh, if you knew how to drive like I know how to drive, you could be out here driving, right? And they're going to be wrecking everywhere. Oh, my gosh. The air starters were Ingersoll and Rand. CF created them. Really? I was a long-haul lumper. Just go everywhere, wherever lumpers are needed. So, okay, that's what I thought, Tina Jones. Until you pay the money, they withhold all your certificates and stuff. Sweet. What a great place. Ones I drove was mid-90s at the newest. Would you recommend, Tina Jones, would you recommend that place to other drivers now, knowing what you know now? 1099 works great with a fake ID. That's true. Air wipers were nice when you could turn the knob and snap the ice off. That's true, because you could flick that thing, and they work better than the electric wipers. I'll give you that. Right, and plus there was no camera to watch you flicking the ice off the wipers. But it did work a lot better for ice flicking. That's true. I used Donkey Bite and I handed an application written in crayon. They probably liked it. There's a place near me that has a 10-pound meatball sandwich if you're interested. Oh, that's pretty big. Where is that? Wow. I hope they give you 2 hours to eat that. I don't think... Has anybody completed that? That's something for like Joey Chestnut. That's Joey Chestnut level. Michael Muller, my dad used to truck at Germany with this MAN truck in the Jake on the floor. I wonder why it's on the floor. I guess you'd get used to where the buttons are. Western Express is your second chance company if you useful if you're a felon or cannot get a job elsewhere. That's correct. Yeah, so it's kind of useful for that. Carlos, what's up? Hey, what's happening? That's where I send people, unfortunately. Mark, I've tried all these other places. Well, maybe Western would hire you. But believe me, it's not going to be great. I tell people up front, it's going to be terrible, and get out of there as soon as you can. Apply other places every day. If I doesn't have these recruiters come in. Okay, good. Tina Jones, I wonder why not. I wonder why they don't. Because most of the schools do. I wanted to speak at C1. I said, every class, I'll come down and talk to the class. Oh, you can't. I'm going to tell them not to go to these places. Oh, you can't do that. All right. They're like, no way. Because they pay them to go in there. I drove an international in the States where your high beam switch was on the floorboard. I've had cars like that, Michael Muller. Yeah. I had tons of cars like that and trucks where the high beams were on the floor. Absolutely. It was right next to the windshield washer squirter squeeze thing. CDL schools have their quotas to get kickbacks for bodies. If you make it or survive, they don't care, just like here. So nothing changes. That's nice. It's nice to know that we've exported our poor, expectations throughout the world. Roger Penske, although I really don't need to be treated medically after my truck rolled back in August, it was still nice to go and make sure everything was okay and to know that it wasn't coming out of my pocket. Exactly. You're the perfect example of why workman's comp is necessary. This is an accident that happened at work on the job, and so any medical expense that you might have had would have been covered, and 2/3 of your pay and workman's comp covered if you had to be off work for a long period of time, all that stuff. So that would have made a huge difference had you actually been injured. Oh, okay, all the Audis are Quattro models. Perfect then. Except Audi doesn't have remote start. I remember starting my cab over parked beside my house back in the day with the air starter. I'm sure all the dogs would start barking in the neighborhood at 4 a.m. Oh, and the neighbors must have loved that too. I remember, let's see. Oh, Alexander, hi, new coworker, right. Some other people coming over there. I called Western Express in 2010, still have my CDL, but I needed a refresher. One day, then 11 cents with another driver for 2 weeks. But that was 2010. They're up to 14 cents now, probably, for the same person. Norman Bates, I spent 6 hours on the side of the road. Brake system froze up. Had to be towed. That's not great. I hope you got paid for it. And what'd they do? Just put it in a garage and let it melt out? People usually fork out the money themselves. Sometimes you can get it paid. If you have a CDL on a commercial job, the company pays for it. All right, so the beginning one. So it's kind of like here. The first one you got to figure out. But then any ongoing training, your company covers. All right. No airline booze. You could maybe once it's froze, though, you can't put anything in there. It wouldn't help, I don't think. 1099, you're out of your mind. Don't do it if you don't own the truck. Been there, done that. Kevin. Exactly. If you're an owner-operator, then you're a 1099, obviously. If you're driving someone else's truck, no way. I mean, no way. It's never enough benefit. For the record, the 10-pound meatball sandwich is 12 minutes, and it's a chick. It's a chick. What kind of meatball sandwich is that? Just wondering, do air starters sound like nuclear plant sirens? No, they sound like they sound like an air drill. Western will pay you 45 cents and make you send a 2-year contract. Oh, forget that, Val. I didn't know they were doing a 2-year. 2-year? Or what? I guess the other part is, or what? If you quit, what do they do about it? Because really, I'm not hearing about them being that aggressive. No one's said anything about it. No, I would not recommend CRST, period. They starved me for miles. Right. The FIE in Leavenworth I would recommend. Yeah, CRST. So you get there, they make you sign a contract. They don't give you any miles, which I don't understand, because the companies don't make any money either if you're sitting around. That's what really surprises me about this place. You're not making money, yes, but neither are they. And the truck's sitting there, they don't make any money on it. If you're at a truck stop or whatever. I watch too much trucking YouTube, the whole no airline booze, go to the store and buy regular alcohol. They didn't have any yesterday, by the way. I looked around for some at Meyer. The plural of Elvis is Elvira. Plural of Focus is 4K. For the school, I meant FIE. My everyday vehicle has the bright light switch on the floor. Oh, well, you. Yes. The rest of us who are living in this century, it has moved. But I agree. So you're still rocking one from then with that big metal switch for your left foot. Any Iowa company's a bad idea. Got some real interesting information from Real Women in Trucking. What do they say about Iowa companies? I remember using some stuff called T-Black back in the airlines. It's 98% alcohol. Wow. I could only get the 91%. If you used device and turn your wiper on high, it will beat the ice off. Are used to drive city bus in Minneapolis, and the turn signals were controlled by buttons on the floor. Wow. Kind of like the new Tesla, which is going to have it on the steering wheel. Buttons on the floor. How annoying would that be? I guess both on your left foot. I had one company pull a fast one. They sent me a 1099-R for royalties, saying I was sharing in the company's growth. Couldn't take deductions from my truck, and my child support was based on $60,000. 1099-R. That sounds like that Western Flyer Express program. Dustin B., what's up, Mark? What's going on? I was audited by the IRS and couldn't claim the expense on my taxes because they said you don't pay taxes when you collect. Exactly. Wife's boyfriend sending me to the store. He's out of beer. I'll be back. Thanks, Troy. I appreciate you being here. I put rubbing alcohol on my airlines if the lines freeze. Once they're frozen solid, time to do that is early. Newbie companies have a high turnover, and that driving, especially on the road, is not like going to a warehouse job, I miss Indiana Jack. He doesn't post much anymore. Tina Jones, write to him and say, hey, what are we doing? Let's get some posts going. Maybe he just thinks nobody's watching. I'm serious. Al Johns, I've only been driving for 4 years. I got no good old trucking stories. But in 20 years, I remember when we actually drove the trucks. Yeah, you kids today, you stay home and your truck drives itself. I remember I used to have to actually go to the truck and drive it. Misty drove an old 53 tanker. Yeah, with the starter button on the floorboard. Wow. Where'd you find that thing to drive around? CRST is like Walmart. They're trying to make the little guy go out of business by dropping shipping fees. They don't want people to find out. Annoying these days when you do the old school trucker palm turning, you change the setting on the radio. Right? SFI lease truck or not? Go Manzano, Lone Mountain Store lease or not? Well, at least you're not leasing it from a carrier. That's always my deal. And then it would depend on the payment and all that. And I'm not a lease person. There are a number of owner-operators on here, and certainly people that have, channels that do that kind of thing. I'm an employee. I'm certainly... Please keep the lease payment, let's say this, under what Prime charges of like $1,300 a week. But it depends on the payment and what you're going to get. Kevin likes Indiana Jack too. The brakes will unfreeze if you had alcohol. Just keep pressing the brakes, so keep on doing it. If you can get it. I will tell you, Meyer was completely out of it yesterday. And if the weather's bad, you're probably not going to be able to get any. They were out of even the 70%, completely. So, okay, Kevin, I appreciate it. And me too. So we'll be headed out of there. Oh, before that, though, we should be sure to make sure that if you wear it, you should always make it a parrot. That didn't ring good, did it? That's better. That's better. GP Transco was here earlier. They're going to do their video. Go check out their video series. It's pretty good, right? So I appreciate them coming in here. Don't forget, as mentioned here, Schuster's giving out some money. They got raises. They're probably going to do another raise before we even get done here. Right? Fleet Nav Systems was here today, too. I appreciate it. They're going to have a live show on the 19th. Check that out. Cash is King Trucking is always around, and it's a super informative channel. If there's one other channel you watch, it should be this one, and I appreciate that. Be sure to also watch Jay, okay, who encouraged me to do live shows. So I appreciate that. I always talk about Jay. He's always busy doing stuff. So, but Jay is the man. And if you want a pet, this is not one you should get. Right? Do not get this kind of pet. Holy mackerel. It's not a pet. Yikes. It's a death trap. Hilarious. Misty was first today, and then George H.W. Bush. I will say I'm probably not going to work today. So we'll see. I'm going to do another weather check. But look, I'm going to encourage everybody in this kind of weather. This is the biggest storm here since 2013 in the Midwest. We're expecting 6 to 8 more inches of snow here and 30-mile-an-hour winds starting here in the next few hours and probably blizzard conditions overnight. That's not worth driving. No matter if you're on the road, if you're home, whatever. It isn't worth it. No matter what they pay you, they should give you money. Even if they don't, it isn't worth your life. It isn't worth being hurt, killing somebody, getting in an accident, or just going 10 miles an hour down the highway. Don't do it. I encourage everybody to please park in bad weather, no matter what it is. Misty was first today on my screen here, and then the President, George H.W. Bush, which I appreciate everybody coming in. Kevin was here today, and thank you for that. Norman Bates was here. Dustin B. Al Johns, I appreciate you being here today. The Hool, thanks for that. I didn't know all that stuff over there. Michael Muller was here. Troy was in here today, and I appreciate it. Johnny come lately. All right. Tommy Cash, I do appreciate people's coming in, too. I'm just saying that. Without people, I'm nobody, right? I'm just the facilitator of the show, so I really do appreciate people coming in. It always amazes me, as I always say, that anybody comes in. Trucking Tips was here. Thank you very much. Wild Bill, the high beams on the floor. Nice. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Roger Penske was here today, so thank you for being here. Valerie Peterman. Let's see, where am I here? Oh, I lost my spot. How do I lose my spot doing this? Okay, so, Gear Jammer was here, right? And I always miss people, which I apologize for. Carlos, thank you for being here today. Let's see, Dashcam Sam was here today. And let's see, where am I going up here? And I'm rolling this, my wheel. Oh, George Costanza, thank you for being here. Pigpen, I appreciate you coming in today. Tommy Cash was here. And let's see, I'm going to have to head out to my place and see what they're doing here. Probably not doing much today, I will say that. That's what I think today. Probably not doing much. So we'll see what they say. But ultimately, they do let you, they're very good about it. I will say that here, that they let you decide if you think it's unsafe, you don't have to drive. And that should be most places. I will say most places do that. So be safe today, okay? And let me know how it goes. There'll be more videos.